All right,
Oh, fuck. Yeah, a lot of people gave that Indiana Jones game a good review, but some people who are a little smarter basically said it's really fucking boring and lame.
Grande. Today, I will analyze the case of Elon Musk's irritating email to federal workers. First, I'll look at the background of this case, move to the timeline of the incident, then offer my analysis. Elon Reeve Musk was born in Pretoria, South Africa, on June 28, 1971. His family was exceptionally wealthy. Elon eventually made his way to the United States by first moving to Canada. He earned 2 bachelor's degrees, one in physics and one in economics. In 1995, he started a company that developed online city guides. When the company sold 4 years later, Elon received $22 million for his share. Later that same year, Elon started a financial services company. The company merged.
Super chat's not working. I sent one. You should still be able to send them through PayPal. Don't know why Stripe wouldn't, like, Stripe isn't working, but PayPal should be working.
Merged with another company and would eventually be renamed PayPal. When eBay purchased PayPal in 2002,
you sent it 3 hours ago. Are you retarded? Bootycum donate $2, baby Richard. Yes, this was donated early, so I didn't eat the mint leaves. Okay. Glad you didn't eat the mint leaves. You could have died. Thanks for the donation, Bootycum.
Elon made 175.
Have you seen this video of these Muslim wives trying to kill themselves to try to get away from their abusive husbands? I can't imagine the amount of strange sexual degeneracy in that house.
Yeah, I've seen that clip before. I have no idea what the fuck those goats were thinking. Very, very odd. Thanks for the donation, though, Religion of Peace.
$5 million. In May 2002, Elon used almost $100 million to start a spacecraft manufacturer called SpaceX, which eventually became financially successful. In 2004, Elon became the majority shareholder in an automotive manufacturer called Tesla. Over the years, Elon has been involved in several other companies, most of which are technology related. For example, in 2022, he purchased the social media platform Twitter. It is now called X. At the time I'm making this video, Elon's net worth is about $384 billion, which makes him the richest person in the world. In January 2025, using an executive order, President Donald
Oh, dude, Tesla stock is crashing like a fucking rock. Finally. This guy might actually become legit broke soon. Oh, hey, Gum Gum. Hey, kitty. Come jump on my lap. What's Gum Gum up to? Stop scratching my chair. Stop, 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 stop. No scratching my chair. Stop. Stop. Stop doing that. Yeah, I think Tesla's sales are down like 45% in Europe. They're down like 20% in the US. And a ton of people are dumping their stock. So hopefully, you know, Tesla goes legit full-on bankrupt and this guy becomes a fucking normal everyday brokey.
Donald Trump created an organization called the Department of Government Efficiency. It's pronounced Doge instead of Doggy. This is a missed opportunity. Doggy is a much better name. Either way, Trump designated Elon Musk as a special government employee, a senior advisor, and appointed him as the head of Doge, or Doggy, depending on one's preference for pronunciation. Now moving to the timeline of the incident. On Saturday, February 22, 2025, Donald Trump posted a message on the social media platform Truth Social, which read, quote, Elon is doing a great job, but I would like to see him get more aggressive. Remember, we have a country to save, but ultimately to make greater than ever before, MAGA, unquote. Elon replied to this message with, will do, Mr. President. Hours later, Elon Musk ordered that emails from the Human Resources account at the Office of Personnel Management be sent to 2.3 million federal employees with the title, what did you do last week?
Oh yeah, apparently Elon's been trying to get some of his Doge employees to do illegal shit, like hack into the IRS and stuff. And I think 21 people have quit so far, which I think is most of the, you know, quote-unquote Doge staff. So, I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen with all this. All of his staff are quitting, and all of these federal agencies are also telling him to go fuck himself. Even the you know, new Trump appointees.
The message contained in the emails read, quote, please reply to this email with approximately 5 bullets of what you accomplished last week and CC your manager, unquote. The deadline stated in the message was Monday, February 24, 2025 at 11:59 p.m. Elon had posted on the social media platform X that, consistent with Trump's instructions, all federal employees will shortly receive an email requesting to understand what they got done last week. Failure to respond will be taken as a resignation. This was not included in the email. It was only posted on X. Later that same day, Saturday, Elon posted additional messages. He wrote, quote, to be clear, the bar is very low here. An email with some bullet points that make any sense at all is acceptable. Should take less than 5 minutes to write, unquote. In another message, Elon stated that the email was necessary.
Faggot purple hat man, you forgot to pin the dono link, you black darky.
I swear I pinned the dono link. Maybe I'm on crack, but I could have sworn I did that. Did it go away? I don't know. Very strange. Alright, well there you go. The dono link is right there. Thanks for the donation, friendly neighborhood faggot.
Necessary to ferret out government employees who are, quote, doing so little work that they are not checking their email, unquote. He claimed that non-existent people, or the identities of dead people, were being used to collect paychecks. The email that Elon sent, as well as the accompanying social media posts, led to disorientation and chaos in federal agencies. there were a variety of responses from the agencies to the messages. For example, the FBI told employees not to reply to the email. The State Department said the same thing. The Department of Health and Human Services told some employees to respond, but others were told to wait. NASA indicated the email was a chance for workers to promote their accomplishments and said employees should reply with speed, accuracy, and detail. On Sunday, February 23, 2025, the leadership at NASA had a change of heart and told employees,
Yes, you did pin the Dono link VG, they just did not see it.
I think it went down on its own or some shit. I swear I pinned it. Maybe I'm just insane, I don't know. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
to prepare a response, but do not send it. Some employees of the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration were given the same instructions. And the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency told employees to follow the instructions in the email. At the time I'm making this video, many federal employees remain confused, and a large quantity of strong negative reactions have been directed toward Elon Musk. Now moving to my analysis. Here are my thoughts on a few areas that stood out to me in this case. Item number 1. The demand made by Elon in his email is not realistic for many reasons. For example, there is no way that some employees could make the deadline even if they wanted to. There are people who cannot check their email because they are in remote or inaccessible areas of the world. And some employees are on various types of leave, like sick leave or parental leave. Many federal employees are in unions. The president of the largest union...
No. Gummy. Be a good cat or get down. Don't jump on my fucking computer. Gummy. Come here. Come here. Come here, Gum. Do not jump on my computer. Do not even think about it. Don't even think about it. Don't even think about it. No. No. Don't even think about it. I swear to fuck if you jump on my computer. Dude, this cat is very troublesome. No, okay. Get down. I will squirt you.
It is now called X. At the time I'm making this video, Elon's net worth is about $384 billion, which makes him the richest person in the world. In January 2025, using an executive order, President Donald Trump created an organization called the Department of Government Efficiency. It's pronounced Doge instead of Doggy. This is a missed opportunity. Doggy is a much better name. Either way, Trump designated Elon Musk as a special government employee, a senior advisor, and appointed him as the head of Doge, or Doggy, depending on one's preference for pronunciation. Now moving to the timeline of the incident. On Saturday, February 22, 2025, Donald Trump posted a message on the social media platform Truth Social, which read, quote, Elon is doing a great job, but I would like to see him get more
Yes, my cat knows his fucking name, you retard.
aggressive. Remember, we have a country to save, but ultimately to make greater than ever before, MAGA, unquote. Elon replied to this message with, will do, Mr. President. Hours later, Elon Musk ordered that emails from the Human Resources account at the Office of Personnel Management be sent to 2.3 million federal employees with the title, what did you do last week? The message contained in the emails read, quote, please reply to this email with approximately 5 bullets of what you accomplished last week and CC your manager, unquote. The deadline stated in the message was Monday, February 24, 2025. It was only posted on X. Later that same day, Saturday, Elon posted additional messages. He wrote, hello, this is Dr. Grant.
Am I going insane? Did we not already watch this? Did it skip behind? Yeah, it started over. What the fuck?
It's not what was happening. Only 89,000 people over the age of 99 are receiving benefits, which is close to the number of people today, $2.6 million an hour, $43,000 a minute, or $730 a second. The hourly rate is particularly significant when looking for context, like how to understand how much money that really is. In the United States, research indicates that on average, people believe that an individual must have a net worth of $2.5 million to be considered wealthy. Elon Musk earns so much money from his investments that every single hour, he could transform a person who has nothing into a wealthy individual. Another way to look at this is to compare his return with the average salary in the United States, which is about $66,500. Elon earns this much every 91 seconds. Again, I cannot overstate, my estimates are very conservative. Who cannot lose? An example of nothing to lose would be the familiar scenario where a son inherits his father's business. Experiences of others as far as shrinking.
Okay, so Doge is faltering really badly right now in a very funny way. So remember how, and I put out a quick segment about this. Remember how the Elon Musk said, hey, all 50 billion federal employees, reply to this email with 5 bullet points of what you did. There's no way we're going to read through all of this. So it's basically just a test to make sure everyone who received an email sends one back. And then multiple federal agencies then contacted their own workers and told them they don't have to do that. Like, I think this happened with the CIA specifically, where they were like, you don't have to do that. You don't have to listen to Elon Musk. As it turns out, CIA agents actually don't need to provide weekly report cards to FBI too. So intelligence agents probably shouldn't be giving weekly report.
I think it's skipped over because I think the cat jumped on your PC when we're not looking.
Yeah, maybe. Or he pressed a button on my keyboard. Dude, he keeps jumping on my fucking computer and presses the goddamn power button and then shuts it off. It's so annoying. I don't even know what the fuck he's doing. He jumps on my computer and then stares up at the ceiling. Like, it's so weird. I'm gonna try and find a cat tower that's high enough for the, Actually, maybe it would be a bad idea if it goes all the way up to the ceiling. Looks like he wants something from there, but yeah, I'm gonna have to get a cat tower for down here.
Cards. The email from Elon
Thanks
Musk
for the
literally
donation,
said,
Dodo.
don't reply with sensitive information. Like, what have you been up to, all 50 billion federal employees? By the way, do not disclose top secret information. So there are other members of Trump's cabinet that are like essentially ignoring Elon, which isn't surprising because, again, it's a really stupid requirement to begin with. A Pentagon official called the email stupid and Elon got mad over it. Of course he did. Obviously he did. It's the smartest idea he's ever come up with. Anyone with the attitude of that Pentagon official needs to look for a new job. DOD and DHS order staff to ignore it. Silliest thing in 40 years, says Pentagon officials. Both agencies say they'll respond through chain of command. So basically they're ignoring him. Elon Musk said, okay, a lot of people ignored me the first time. The second time, I'm sending you another email. And if you don't reply this second time, you are definitely super duper getting fired. President.
Dude, what's fucking crazy is this is just some random immigrant who's not an elected official firing off federal employees when he's proven he doesn't even know how any of these agencies work. Like, how is he not in jail by now? He's even telling his own Doge staff to do illegal shit. And he's getting most of them from, like, his own SpaceX employees.
Donald Trump did little to clear up the situation while talking to reporters in the Oval Office on Tuesday.
And they say cats are highly intelligent creatures, bull fucking shit.
Well, they are pretty smart, but they are also pretty annoying. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
It's somewhat voluntary, he said, but added that if you don't answer, I guess you get fired. Which, again, goes to show how much Trump is checked into this administration. Like, I don't know. I guess, like, Elon can just do that. Like, he can just literally directly fire everyone. I'm not really involved. Just ask me questions. I bet, like, Trump is basically Elon's liaison to the press at this point. Did we talk about Health and Human Services saying anyone who does reply to the email should treat it as if it would be read by malign foreign actors? Well, of course! You think there's any, like, security on this? Assume what you write will be read by malign foreign actors and tailor your response accordingly. Incredible. Again, like, you could not... If Elon Musk and Donald Trump were enemies of the state that infiltrated the government in order to deconstruct it, they would not do anything differently than what they are currently doing. Stop with the link. Shut up! Oh my God, you people. I look at the text, it's all blue. Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Rude-ass mother... White House says more than 1 million federal workers responded to Doge's ultimatum email. 1 million, huh? Jarvis, how many federal employees are there? You know what? We'll find out. How many federal employees are there? Federal civilian employment, all agencies, 1.9 million. We don't know how many people have been fired by Doge because they haven't provided any official records. So, who can read the platform? I've heard about this and criticized people.
This is like just some of the most unhinged, crazy shit I never would have imagined seeing in American politics. I don't know how the fuck this is allowed to just keep going on.
Welcome back, Defenders. Yesterday was officially the 3-year anniversary of Russia's brutal invasion of Ukraine. To start today's video, I want to share with you Klitschko's video. This is the message he put out on the 3-year anniversary.
3 years ago to the day the Russians attacked my country. The experts gave us 3 days. Luckily, they were all wrong. I say luckily, but we stood our ground at the cost of immense sacrifice and suffering. Thanks to our military and our willpower, we still resist today. We resist despite our numerical inferiority, despite the barbarity of daily attacks, despite massive propaganda. This propaganda, with its lies, has one aim: to weaken the democracies, to weaken the truth and the facts. So here are the facts. Putin's Russia is a dictatorship. Russia started this war. Ukraine is only the appetizer. The rest of Europe is on the menu of Russian imperialism. My American friends, do not make Russia great again, because it will make the Cold War great.
Thanks for streaming tonight, VG. Just sending you a couple links to my TikTok channel where I doing vegan influencing and will be hosting lives.
Okay, just checking to make sure this isn't a troll. I fucking hate TikTok, dude. I'm glad I never used it. That looks kind of weird. I do like Thai food, though. Very good. Thanks for the donation, Jazz.
Monday. Today I will analyze the premiere episode of The Baldwins. This is a reality show featuring Alec Baldwin, his wife Ilaria, and their children. First I'll look at the background of this case, move to a summary of the episode, then offer my analysis. Alec Baldwin was born on April 3, 1958 in Amityville, New York. This is on Long Island. He started working as a television actor in 1992 and appeared in his first movie in 1987. In 1988, his popularity increased significantly when he appeared in the movie Beetlejuice.
All social media platforms are brain rot at this point. Dude, you know what's fucking annoying the ever-loving shit out of me? I keep fucking seeing these YouTube channels getting recommended left and right that are AI. This might be AI. 109 views one day ago, Don the Movie Reviewer.
The Monkey is directed by Osgood Perkins, and this is...
No, it's just some fucking dipshit. Okay, that one's probably not AI. Let me see if I can find any. I always block the channels whenever I see them. But holy shit, it's so annoying. Just constantly. The amount of AI-generated fucking channels is just... I really worry the like dead internet theory is going to become real, and it's all just going to be AI uploading shit. It's so annoying. Bootycum donate $2. After the informative videos, can you inject some retardation into the stream? VG, also don't call me retarded because I've got tism.
So we're asking for rare.
Oh, yes. Yes, this retarded nonsense. We can watch that next. Thanks for the donation. Bootycum.
My god, Alec Baldwin has a reality show after the Rust incident. What the hell?
Yeah, apparently. I guess that's what celebrities do when they think they need to be more likable and relatable, when it really just makes them look like pompous dickheads. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Have you ever heard Jasmine polishing her pearl in the other room when you were gaming or something? My master.
I don't even know what the hell that means. Thanks for the donation, Peace Freak.
Game. My European friends, if Russia wins, Europe loses too. Together, we can defend our values, our borders, and our continent. Slava Ukraine.
All the Western military experts said that Ukraine would only last 3 days, 2 weeks tops. And here we are 3 years later. This is an interesting graphic put out by Ukraine's Ministry of Defense showing Russia's losses and casualties year over year. The lightest color is the first year. So in the first year of the war, Russia took 146,000 casualties. The second year of the war, Russia took 262,000 casualties. And this most recent year, the third year, Russia has sustained 459,000 casualties. This war is getting deadlier as time goes on. Who knows how deadly this war will be this year? I hope this war comes to a conclusion. I hope there's a lasting peace and ceasefire. But if there's not, yes, I'm going to estimate that this number is going to be higher if we reach the 4-year anniversary of this war. And here's where we are, guys. After 3 years of war, Ukraine is in an absurd position, thanks to Donald Trump and the United States. Kyiv says they're making progress with Washington on a resource deal. Zelensky has so far rejected Trump's team's demand to trade minerals for security, but said Friday that both countries are working on a deal and will likely announce it soon. And it's a mafia shakedown, guys. Your minerals or your aid. US holds Ukraine hostage while Russia continues to bomb them. And here's the text. This has been released to the public. I'll link this down below if you want to read the resource deal for yourself. And my initial position was, I'll support whatever President Zelensky supports. He has all the information, I do not. But the more I look at this and the more I think about it, this is insane. This is absurd. Now, initially, the United States was saying we're going to have a resource fund where 50% of all of Ukraine's resource revenues pay the United States back up to $500 billion. That was laughable because there was no incentive for the United States to continue providing aid to Ukraine.
Homoerotic manga, donate $2. Masturbation, it means masturbation. I don't think she really ever made any noise if she masturbated. Thanks for the donation, homoerotic manga.
So the United States revised the agreement saying, for every $1 of future aid given to Ukraine, Ukraine has to put $2 into this fund that the United States controls. That is a 100% return on your money for continuing to support Ukraine. And that sounds good in that there's now an incentive for the United States to keep providing military and financial aid. But a 100% rate of return? The mafia doesn't even charge a 100% interest rates on loans given to people. Why can't it be for every $2 put in, 3 goes back, or every $3 put in, 4 goes back?
Bootycam, donate $2. Don't skip VG. Okay, don't.
In the last hour, Ukrainian officials have said a deal has been reached between Kyiv and Washington on the joint exploitation of Ukraine's mineral resources. Now, the country is rich in oil and gas, as well as raw materials, as this map shows. Full details haven't yet been made public of the deal, but an agreement could be signed later this week and have consequences for the war with Russia. Donald Trump says President Zelensky might travel to the White House this Friday. Well, in a moment, we'll...
It's interesting. I'm wondering if this hat involved security guarantees.
We'll speak to James Waterhouse live in Kyiv, but first to Gary O'Donoghue, who's in Washington. Gary, has Donald Trump got what he wanted then?
Well, we were told yesterday by the president that this deal was close, and that turned out to be true. It seems that the I's have been dotted and the T's have been crossed. We don't know much about the detail. President Trump has said already that this could be worth billions of dollars to the US, and an important part of his request. And he said just in the last few minutes.
This is very British. This guy's missing half his fucking teeth, and I don't know if his eyes work.
Clive, that he expected the deal to be signed later this week.
I hear that he's coming on Friday. Certainly it's okay with me if he'd like to, and he would like to sign it together with me, and I understand that's a big deal, very big deal. And I think the American people, even if you look at polling, they're very happy because, Biden was throwing money around like it's cotton candy, and it's a very big deal. Look, it could be $1 trillion deal.
Now, we don't know exactly what President Trump has given in terms of security guarantees, which are a key part of Ukraine's ask, and we don't know how much of a share of those resources going forward that the Americans will have either. And of course, none of this can happen until the fighting is finished.
All right, Gary O'Donoghue live at the White House there. To you, James, in Kyiv. As Gary mentioned there, one of the key stipulations for Kyiv was some kind of security guarantee as part of this deal. Do you have any idea if that's part of the agreement?
Clive, I'm afraid I can't add to Gary's report there. We don't know any more details here so far. We are told by sources here that the terms of this deal are much more favourable. So you'll remember that Donald Trump said he wants access to $500 billion worth of Ukrainian minerals, a figure that's been disputed in these parts. That has now been dropped. And we must remind ourselves of the hostile backdrop, where Donald Trump has accused President Zelensky.
This video is brought to you by Ground News. Over the last few days, US President Donald Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky have had a pretty public falling out, with Trump calling Zelensky a dictator. Actually have. Well, according to Ukraine's own geological survey, Ukraine has large underground deposits of certain in-demand metals, including titanium, graphite, lithium, and uranium, as well as a handful of rare earth reserves, with all these deposits generally occurring along the so-called Ukrainian Shield, a strip of land that runs along the right bank of the Dnipro River. However, these deposits have not undergone any significant exploration or development. For instance, Ukrainian officials claim some of the world's largest deposits of titanium, used for missiles, planes, and ships, but only 10% of its proven reserves are being developed. So, why haven't these reserves been developed? These efforts were interrupted by Russia's of deal that would give American companies privileged access to these deposits, $500 billion worth of rare earth minerals. Trump's enthusiasm for rare earth specifically is probably related to his anxieties about.
How do I stop people from impersonating me through donos? Is there anything I can do? I like to masturbate with a condom on most of the time.
No, I don't think there's really anything you can do about that, but thanks for the donation, Peace Freak.
About China. Rare earths are used in a whole load of advanced technologies, but China currently accounts for about 60% of all rare earth mining and about 90% of rare earth processing. However, it seems like the deal collapsed on Wednesday last week, when Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent visited. According to that draft agreement, the US would get 50% of recurring revenues received by Ukraine from extraction of resources.
So we're asking for
a 25% return on your money is still enough of an incentive for the United States to continue supporting Ukraine. And when President Zelensky suggested this idea,
Hi VG. I hope you are great tonight. So, a lot has happened for me. I'm on a 6-day vacation with PTO. I'll be paid on Friday. I got a red 2010 Lincoln MKZ for free from my dad, a free vegan meal from Chipotle due to system failures, and I'll be receiving $1 from the IRS.
Damn, dude, you've been lucky lately. That's pretty sick. Thanks for the donation, Ben.
the whole thing about security guarantees for Ukraine's resources, I imagine Zelensky was envisioning a one-for-one. The United States, all of their money will be returned to them because of Ukraine's natural resources. But this is a mafia shakedown in which Donald Trump is trying to maximize personal benefits for himself. And when we talk about aid, what are we talking about? If the United States were to give Ukraine $1, and then in the future Ukraine had to pay them back $2, okay, it might take time to pay them back. That makes sense. But a lot of the military aid that the United States has provided Ukraine has been spent entirely in the United States. We give Ukraine old weapons that are going to be decommissioned anyways from the 80s and 90s, Bradleys that were built 40 years ago. We then use the money allocated as military aid for Ukraine to build brand new stuff in today's dollars here in the United States. So why would Ukraine pay 200% rates in today's dollars for the United States to build the best equipment for themselves, and then we just give them stuff that's 40 years old? Everything about this resource deal is pretty offensive and nonsensical, and I'm going to give my opinion. My personal advice to President Zelensky and the Ukrainian people is—
You were right, it was North Korea. Exchange accidentally sent billions to an address thinking it was routine. Ethereum's hard wallet protocols are unnecessarily complex, and thus very hard to detect manipulation.
This is Matthew Kratters, Bitcoin University, and today I want to talk about Ethereum funding global terrorism. Now, Vitalik Buterin's deep interest in Asian culture has been well documented over the years, both his interest in Chinese culture and his interest in Japanese culture. Here's a wonderful picture of Vitalik dressing up with some of his friends in Japan, and he has this beautiful yellow belt on. But unfortunately, this has taken a very dark turn in February of this year when Vitalik tweeted, "Make communism great again." And no one really understood what he was saying here until they realized that if you basically fed him a lot more food, he would end up looking like Kim Jong-un, the glorious leader of North Korea. So there's now been another connection between Vitalik and North Korea. North Korea's Lazarus Group has just hacked the Bybit exchange, which I believe is in Singapore, and they have drained $1.5 billion worth of Ethereum. I believe this is the largest theft in crypto history. As BitPain writes here,
They're the only people who could have possibly done it would be North Koreans. They try to make these really, really big heists that probably won't even pay off because they can't actually, turn it into cash. So yeah, they've done a few of these big crypto heists before. So that's why I figured it was North Korea. Like, they're the only ones who ever try to make these big crypto heists. Thanks for the donation, though, retard.
Here, imagine going to all the trouble to hack an exchange just for some Ethereum, like breaking into Fort Knox and stealing the toilet paper in the bathroom. I think that's a good summary of it. Jimmy Song writes here about Ethereum's enormous attack surface. This is an exchange who has every incentive to keep their funds safe. If they can't store ETH safely in a quote-unquote multi-sig cold wallet because Ethereum does not have native multi-sig, what chance do you have? The lesson here is that the ETH ecosystem has an enormous attack surface, and hence your funds are not safe. Rob Hamilton confirms this. This goes to the complexity of ETH. You are signing state updates to a contract, but the complexity of ETH prevents the ability to analyze what exactly you are agreeing to. Now, the great irony, as Carl Menger points out here, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un is now the 14th largest holder of Ethereum, surpassing founder Vitalik Buterin and holding more than twice the amount owned by the Ethereum Foundation, from ultrasound money to ultra-communist money in one cycle. And BitPain points out here, if North Korea stakes any of its ETH, then paying gas fees for a transaction is funding terrorism, according to the U.S. State Department. So the whole Ethereum ecosystem and Vitalik Buterin in particular are in big trouble here. This is why I tweeted, if Vitalik and the Ethereum Foundation don't push through a hard fork to defund these North Korean hackers, they need to be held responsible for aiding and abetting global terrorism. And I copied the OFAC division of the U.S. Treasury here. OFAC, of course, has sanctions against North Korea. So what's happening is very serious here. ETH has a long history of doing very nice censorship. They've been censoring OFAC blocks, or blocks that contain transactions that OFAC doesn't like. In the past 30 days, they've censored 51% of their blocks. So this is already a censorship protocol. It shouldn't be a big deal to extend it a little bit further. So this is the Ethereum Foundation. And as Vitalik has asserted recently, just on January 21st of 2025, the person deciding the new Ethereum Foundation leadership team is me. So it's very clear that Vitalik is in charge. He sees himself as being in charge. And this is why I think it's incumbent upon him and the senior people at the Ethereum Foundation to do a hard fork and roll back the chain and basically erase this history so that Bybit gets their money back and this money is not used by North Korean terrorists. And Ethereum has a long history of other types of censorship and doing hard forks to bypass transactions that have taken place. The famous DAO hack. Back in June of 2016, users exploited a vulnerability in the DAO code. This was one of the early DAOs built on Ethereum to enable them, the hackers, to siphon off 1/3 of the DAO's funds to a subsidiary account. This was ETH they were siphoning off. The Ethereum community controversially decided to hard fork the Ethereum blockchain to restore approximately all funds to the original contract. So Vitalik basically did this to make his buddies whole. And this was a very, very controversial hard fork. Those who didn't like it went along with the original chain and called it Ethereum Classic. But basically what I'm saying here is that Ethereum has a long history of censorship and doing hard forks. And so if it was worth doing a hard fork to restore funds to Vitalik's buddies, you can imagine from a national security perspective, how important it is that they do this once again. Unfortunately, when you do this a few times, it really makes the credibility of your chain plummet. So Vitalik and ETH are really between a rock and a hard spot here. Samson Mao writing, I fully support rolling back Ethereum's chain again, so the stolen ETH is returned to Bybit official, and also to prevent the North Korean government from using those funds to finance their nuclear weapons program. It must be done. Vitalik Buterin. So I think I agree with Samson there. I think it's time for Vitalik to take a long hike with his cat purse and decide whose side he is on. Is he on the side of the winged horse Chilima, who drives the economic miracle that is North Korea? This is the Chilima statue on Mansu Hill in Pyongyang, and it symbolizes the advance of Korean society at the speed of the mythical Chilima, one of the slowest horses in history, obviously, if you understand North Korean economic progress. So is he going to side with Chilima, or is he going to side with America? It's time for Vitalik to do that long hike with his cat purse and decide whose side he's on. Is he on the side of freedom, or is he on the side?
This guy is clearly a dipshit. Well, that's interesting. Thanks again, retard.
Just tell Donald Trump no. If it's not going to be a fair deal, it's not a deal worth having. And on top of all of it, the United States is still opposing the inclusion of security guarantees for this rare earth deal, which is the entire point of the deal. Ukraine is looking for security guarantees so Russia stops attacking them. Let me read for you President Zelensky's statement on this issue. Security guarantees are also about economic agreements. There is a lot of media talk about this, about our work with the Americans to reach such an agreement. We all need peace, long-lasting and a reliable one, and we want a good economic deal that will be part of a true security guarantee system for Ukraine and the free world. Our teams are working every day, and we are making great progress. Ukraine wants a strong agreement, one that guarantees security and lays a solid foundation for economic partnership with the U.S. for decades to come. Fair terms produce strong results. Nothing about Donald Trump's business history has ever screamed fair terms producing strong results. That's just not how Donald Trump operates. He's a bully and a parasite who's just trying to exploit Ukraine right now. So my advice to the Europeans is offer a better deal. I know it is personally offensive to human rights and dignity to say, we're only going to help you if you give us money and stuff. But if that's what it takes to fund completely all of Ukraine's military needs, then the Europeans need to do something. So on the 3-year anniversary of Russia's invasion, NATO leadership arrived in Kyiv to show their support. This was not just a European thing. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau of Canada was there, so if the United States wanted to send somebody, Marco Rubio or Donald Trump himself or even J.D. Vance, they could have done it. But on the 3-year anniversary of Russia's full-scale invasion, the United States sent no one to show their support for Ukraine, because the Trump administration does not support Ukraine. Here is a normal statement for the leader of a free and democratic nation to put out to show their support for Ukraine. This is Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. 3 years ago, Russia launched its illegal full-scale invasion of Ukraine. I'm in Kyiv today to meet with President Zelensky and show that Canada stands with Ukraine, now and always. This tweet has 102,000 likes. It is popular with the public to be supporting Ukraine. And President Trump put out no such statements. He did not recognize or acknowledge the 3-year anniversary of Russia's brutal invasion because he publicly blames Ukraine. Right now, this week, he is publicly saying it's Ukraine's fault this war started. Ukraine never should have allowed Russia to invade them in the first place. What kind of tweet did Trump put out on the 3-year anniversary? Stuff about Macron, blah, 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 but here is the important part at the bottom. I am in serious discussions with President Vladimir Putin of Russia concerning the ending of the war, and also major economic development transactions that will take place between the United States and Russia. Talks are proceeding very well. What the hell is he talking about? Trump says he's discussing major economic deals with Putin, and Putin confirms it. Putin is offering 2 million tons of aluminum to the United States to stabilize the price of aluminum on the market here in America. This is insane. Let me read for you what Putin says. The main importer today is Canada. If a decision is made to open the American markets to our manufacturers, then we could sell about 2 million tons of aluminum on the American market. This would have a significant impact on price formation, but in my opinion, it would still have a deterrent effect on price stabilization. The United States is trying to make economic...
I'm assuming this has something to do with Elon Musk. It has to. Because I know Elon Musk is a huge Putin shill.
deals and free trade agreements with Putin and the Russians. Putin says he's ready for U.S. investment in strategic minerals in the occupied territories. Putin said in televised comments that Russia was ready to work with foreign partners, including Americans, on developing reserves of rare and rare earth metals, including in our new regions, referring to the regions of Ukraine controlled by Russia. American companies are going to partner with the Russians to get Ukraine's natural resources out of the occupied territories? So Russia invaded these oblasts, took them by force, killed hundreds of thousands of people, and American companies, Chevron, ConocoPhillips, ExxonMobil, are going to partner with the Russian government to make a profit and get these resources out of the occupied territories. This is what Trump and Putin are currently discussing. Do you think the Russians are going to pay Trump 2-to-1 on getting resources out of the occupied territories? The deal that Trump is demanding from Zelensky to get their resources out of the ground in the territory not occupied by the Russians. This is insane. These talks happening in Saudi Arabia, they're not peace talks. They're trade negotiations. Donald Trump is using the war between Russia and Ukraine as an opportunity to enrich himself. He's going to the Ukrainians and saying, what's the most you can give me? I want it. And he's going to the Russians saying, what's the most you can give me? I want as much as I can take. This has nothing to do about human rights or human suffering or the sovereignty of nations or democratic values. It's just about dollars. This is soulless, guys. As an American citizen, this is offensive that my government is even doing this. Here is the thoughts from Ambassador Michael McFowle. So Trump is willing to abdicate America's role as the leader of the free world for an aluminum deal. Wow. The America I love stands for more in this world than just business deals for oligarchs. We are a nation founded on the ideals of liberty, freedom, and democracy. We cannot allow Trump to turn us into a pedestrian, land-grabbing, profit-seeking empire. We fought a revolution against that. Sorry to my British viewers, but this is about empire, and it's about subjugating weaker nations into resource colonies. This is what the Russians want, and this is what Donald Trump wants and is currently doing to Ukraine, and what they want to do to Canada, and what they want to do to Greenland, and Panama, and whoever the United States decides is weak enough to take advantage of next. The Russians are still saying they will only end their Ukraine war on their terms. Russia is saying we want everything that we can possibly get, and Donald Trump is saying yes to everything in exchange for an aluminum deal so that Donald Trump can have a trade war with Canada, economically destroy Canada, and then subjugate the Canadians into becoming the 51st state of America or a new territory. This is comic book evil levels of stupidity, guys, that Donald Trump is trying to maneuver right now. This is absurd. I'm asking every decent American who possibly sees or hears this to resist.
I definitely think Trump is skimping off the top, but I wonder if the mineral deal gusto is the only way he can sell the status quo to his base vis-a-vis continued arms shipments and support.
No. There's no way that has anything to do with anything.
With Ukraine and this mineral deal, what does Ukraine get in return, Mr. President?
$350 billion and lots of equipment, and military equipment, and the right to fight on, and originally the right to fight. Look, Ukraine, I will say they're very brave and they're good soldiers, but without the United States and its money and its military equipment, this war would have been over in a very short period.
Yeah, no. Trump's just a retard. Thanks for the donation, retard.
Contact your representatives, show up at town hall events, do not leave your members of Congress alone until Donald Trump abandons this trajectory of just stupidity and evil and callousness. But this is what Trump's base wants. This was a comment left on my YouTube channel yesterday by a Trump supporter. US and Russia together are an unstoppable force. Fuck the rest of you. This is where we are. Donald Trump lied about everything to get into.
Dude, Americans are just so fucking stupid. It can't be overstated just how dumb Americans are. I don't even know how the US is the kind of country it is, with how many dumb people live there. It's actually a fucking miracle that the US even exists at this point because of how retarded everybody is.
Office. If you're a Trump supporter or a Trump voter and you are horrified by what is currently happening with our foreign policy, you were lied to. This was always the plan. This was always the plan of people like Elon Musk, RFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard. Let's militarily ally with the Russians and then divide up the world. We could be a lot richer that way if we just ignored the UN Charter and international law and we stopped giving a damn about human rights and democratic values. So Europe, we really need you. Peace must not mean a surrender of Ukraine. French President Macron visited Trump. Thank you. This is important. We need more European leaders to try and speak to Trump and get to him directly. And there's some highlights from the press conference. I think this was almost 2 days ago now. Trump refused to call Putin a dictator, saying, "I don't use those words lightly." I'm not going to play this clip because seeing and hearing President Trump upsets a lot of people. But Trump was asked by a reporter, "Is Vladimir Putin a dictator?" And Trump said, "I would never say that. I don't use those words lightly." Meanwhile, he just called President Zelensky a dictator a couple days ago. Macron also had to correct Trump on the spot. "We provided real money, to be clear." Macron interrupts the conference with Trump in a touching moment. In an awkward gesture, the French president puts his hand on Trump's arm and corrects him that Europe has also given money to Ukraine, not tied to loans, and reminds him that Russia is the aggressor. So I am going to play this clip because this is Donald Trump trying to lie, saying that the Europeans are only giving aid to Ukraine in the form of secured loans.
In real time,
that's a lie. Had to correct the lies of the president of the United States.
Compensated, but not by Ukraine, by Russia, because they was among to aggress.
Again, just so you understand, Europe is loaning the money to Ukraine. They get their money back.
No, in fact, to be frank, we paid.
Hey, what do you expect from a species that shares 98% of its DNA with chimps?
Yeah, it's a good point, Dodo. We are all chimps at the end of the day. Thanks for the donation, dude.
60% of the total defaults. And it was through, like the US, loans, guarantee, grants, and we provided real money, to be clear. We have 230 billion frozen assets in Europe, Russian assets, but this is not as a collateral of a loan, because this is not our belonging. So they are frozen. If at the end of the day, in the negotiation we will have with Russia, they're ready to give it to us, super. It would be done at the end of the day, and Russia would have paid for that.
If you
That's my
believe
wish.
that, it's okay with me.
Mr. President.
So Trump is referring to this G7 loan where frozen Russian assets are accumulating interest. European countries are giving financial aid and loans to Ukraine that will be repaid by the interest from the frozen Russian assets in Belgium. The United States is doing the exact same thing. We agreed to that G7 plan. We just have fewer frozen Russian assets in our bank. It's only about $7 billion. But of course, the Europeans have given hundreds of billions of dollars of grants, direct financial, humanitarian, and military aid that they don't expect the Ukrainians to ever pay back. Nobody for the last 3 years has been asking Ukraine to pay anything back, aside from Donald Trump, because it's in our own national security interests that these wars don't continue, that Russia doesn't attack a NATO country next. Trump understands all this. He just doesn't care. He doesn't care who the Russians invade next, who they kill, if these wars continue. U.S. opposes Ukraine territorial integrity in a UN vote. U.S. sides with Russia in 2 UN resolutions about Ukraine. So the United States has officially flipped on the free and democratic world in their United Nations votes. Because Trump is trying to secure a good aluminum deal with Vladimir Putin, he's having the UN ambassador vote with Russia against Ukraine in the United Nations. So this was a UN General Assembly resolution calling for the withdrawal of Russian troops from Ukraine, and the United States voted against it. So if you're an American citizen, these are our new allies. Get to know them and love them. The Russian Federation, North Korea, Hungary, Belarus, Burundi, Nicaragua, Niger, Haiti, Palau, and Sudan. This is who the United States now votes with. China.
Israel voted against the UN resolution? That's really... Wait. Yeah, what the fuck?
Abstained. India abstained. Iran abstained from this vote. The United States could have abstained, whatever, but they wanted to send a message to Vladimir
That's surprising.
Putin. We're on your side. We got your back. We're your friend now. Here's the map. The green voted in favor of this UN resolution. The red voted against it. These are America's allies now. Hungary, Belarus, and Russia. It gets worse. Trump's move to close U.S. base in Greece sparks debate on NATO's future. So this is the NATO base in Alexandroupolis in Greece, and this is used to supply Western weapons to Ukraine. And Donald Trump is shutting it down because this is what the Russians want. I'm sure more NATO base, American base closures are coming, as Donald Trump will happily do whatever the Russians want for a good aluminum deal. Wow. So on Kremlin State TV, they're actually pretty shocked that things are going so well for them. Here is Vladimir Solovyov. This is the latest clip from Russia Media Monitor. Solovyov says the Trump administration sounds exactly like his show. Here's what Solovyov is saying. We expect so much from Trump, but take a look at it. How harshly Trump is dealing with their former allies. We can't relax. So this is the Russians saying, if the Americans will so easily flip on the Europeans and the Canadians, well, then they might flip on us. So we can't really trust Trump, but if he wants to do what we want now, great. We can't feel like we've already won. Our guys are asking me, has the war ended? I'm not a fortune teller. I don't have a crystal ball, but I think it would be very naive to believe that everyone around us will run to us to make peace. We're seeing mad resistance in Europe. You want to send 30,000 peacekeepers to Russia? Addressing Macron and Starmer. I will quote the words that were spoken in the studio many times, clearly worded by the State Duma member Tolstoy. We will kill all of you. Everyone who comes to our land, it doesn't matter in what capacity, that you're trying to create for yourselves. We clearly said that NATO troops under any flag, under any pretext, are not a topic of discussion for us.
We cutting sweetheart deals with Russia cause we wanna blow up the Middle East with Israel with little pushback. Vance tweeted this brain rot an hour after Ukraine agreed to sign. Things that never happened.
That still doesn't make any sense to me because Russia's being pushed out of Syria. During my Senate campaign, 2022, met a Ukrainian-American man in Eni, Ohio. He was very angry about my views on the conflict, my desire to bring it to a rapid close. You are trying to abandon my country. Implied your country is the United States of America, so is mine. I always found it offensive that new immigrant to our country would be willing to use power influence of their new nation. One of the most important parts of assimilating is seeing your country as the U.S. Oh my god. This guy is a fucking asshole. What a dipshit. Thanks for the donation, retard.
They will be destroyed. We will kill all of you. Well, these are America's new allies. They sound friendly. They sound great. Here's the map, guys, that the Russians are demanding all NATO troops, all American troops removed from Eastern Europe entirely. The Kremlin is saying we want our old borders back. We want our sphere of influence, being all of Eastern Europe back. And either Russia is going to annex these territories after they invade them, which is what they're going to do to the Baltics and Moldova, or they want to install puppet governments that are fascist and pro-Russian and subordinate to the Kremlin. They're not going to stop until they have pro-Russian governments, fascist authoritarians in charge of Bulgaria, Romania, Hungary, Slovakia, the Czech Republic, and Germany. But if there's democratic and free people living anywhere, that is a threat to a dictator. So the Russians are never going to stop. They want their entire sphere of influence to be the European continent, probably the Middle East too. And Donald Trump is saying, fine, the Russians can have Europe, the Chinese can have East Asia, and the United States will take North and South America. This is great power politics, spheres of influence, use military force to extract the resources and exploit the people. This is what's happening right now. So we need to continue supporting Ukraine if you want to avoid 1984 from becoming a reality. And Ukraine is still fighting back. Russia's Ryazan oil refinery halts operations after Ukrainian drones struck it again. This is the third strike on this oil refinery in Petersburg on invasion anniversary. This is what terrifies dictators. Elderly women standing in a public place with a sign. I'll share the clip, but I do want to remind everyone that people in Russia could be protesting, they could be resisting. Anyone who does gets a 7-year prison sentence, so that's why they don't protest, but Russians are going along with this, except for this 83-year-old woman. Okay, that was it. That was the entirety of the 3-year anniversary war protests inside of Russia. Okay, if you made it this far in the video, I know why you're still here. You want to see some videos of donkeys being used by the Russians on the front lines. Here's a Russian soldier excited about his new donkey to help him resupply on the front lines.
Хочу поделиться криком души и познакомить вас с Юлием. Приобрели мы этого ослика в крике отчаяния. Техники, когда нет совсем. От слова абсолютно. Подвоз надо делать. У нас большое плечо подвоза, 20 километров. Ребята идут. Физически это невозможно, и не оставалось других вариантов. 40 тысяч рублей, и осел в студии. Так вот.
This guy spent 40,000 rubles of his own money on a donkey to get supplies to the front lines because there are no supply trucks left. Everything has been destroyed by FPV drones.
Jesus.
Let's get to the good news for Ukraine. Spain has announced a €1 billion military aid package.
Oh, dude, Trump is just so fucked. I really hope he dies of a heart attack or something. Just old age gets to him, and then all of this will be a bad dream.
For rare earth and oil, anything we can get.
Only goes to Putin.
And in terms of where we are in this potential peace settlement, it seems to be more and more that the jungle drums are beating. I got this feeling from Boris Johnson. I got it actually from interviewing President Zelensky 10 days ago or so, that there's a kind of general acceptance of various things, even if they're not being stated explicitly. One is that Ukraine will not, as part of the settlement, get full membership of NATO. That seems to be completely off the table. Secondly, there's likely to be a freezing of the territorial lines where they are right now. In other words, where they barely moved in the last virtually a year, actually, that kind of eastern slide, the 20% that Putin's taken, where things have been pretty well at a stalemate, that will remain under Russian occupation, but probably not without any sovereignty transfer to Russia. And that America will recoup some of the money it's put up to help protect Ukraine and to continue supplying protection, perhaps as part of a united force, including Europeans going forward, by taking a chunk of Ukraine's mineral revenue going forward and minerals themselves. That seems to be where we're heading here. Is that your reading of this, and how workable would that be?
Well, if you're asking me, first of all, the battle lines have been at a stalemate for almost 2 years now. I wrote an article for the Wall Street Journal in July of 2022 predicting that we were going to see this World War I Flanders field trench warfare. So nothing has happened on the ground of any consequence. But I think you've outlined what the basic framework of the American position is. And I think it's important to understand that the view from the conservative right is that if we're going to support a country in Eastern Europe like Ukraine, there should be a return on that investment, that the American taxpayer shouldn't have a total cost to them. If there's a return on that investment, mineral wealth, I think that's where the businessman Donald Trump comes in. I think he described it right. It will probably end up as a frozen conflict. The Europeans right now are talking about not only a frozen conflict, but a situation where it could well be the peacekeepers are put into the Donbass so that both sides withdraw outside. So it looks much like, say, Kashmir or the area between North Korea and South Korea. But that has to be negotiated. I think we're a long way from a settlement before we actually see what the architecture of the deal looks like.
Yeah, let me bring in some of the rest of the panel. So, Joe Walsh, I mean, I hoped and prayed that Ukraine could repel Russia, but my army brother, who I've cited a lot, but he was a colonel in the British Army, fought in Iraq and Afghanistan, and knows more about these things than I do. He said from the very start, there is not a chance that Ukraine is going to beat Russia. They just do not have enough firepower to do this. And he said that steadfastly through it to the point where I understood he's right. And I don't think anybody thinks that Ukraine can now win this war. Which brings me to Donald Trump and his blunt instrument way of dealing with these things. We saw it in Gaza. We're seeing it again with Ukraine. I don't like the way he talks about President Zelensky. I don't know why he has to demonize him in all this. I think calling him a dictator when you're not calling Putin a dictator is ludicrous. I think saying Ukraine started this is also ludicrous. However, if the bigger picture for Trump is taking a battering ram to an intransigent military scenario, just painted so well by General Kimmich, where it's just going nowhere, and excuse me, I spoke to Trump on the phone a few weeks ago, and he told me about the reports he was getting about the killing on the ground, and he said it was exactly like World War I, just big open fields and both sides gunning each other down, thousands of casualties a day, and he said this cannot go on.
Dodo donate $2. What is this stupid shit? One of my favorite VG quotes. Then she was fired by a Fox News weekend host. You know what else hits hard? The fact that voters thought it was a good idea to hire a reality show host. Bankrupt businessman as president. She spent half of her 40-year career at sea commanding a destroyer, 2 carrier strike groups, the U.S. 6th Fleet. Then she was fired by a Fox News weekend host. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is fired Admiral Lisa Franchetti, first woman to become Navy's top officer. I'm assuming she was fired because she's a woman? Something like that?
Yes, you can't be surgically precision. There's no way to be surgically precision in this. You have to cut more because you just don't know. There's no way to do it. Remember, we've never audited government for 100 years.
Yes, we have. They go through audits regularly.
Never done this before. You may not like it.
Tom
It may
doesn't
be
think that's
traumatic.
right. Tom, what's your reaction to that? The government's not
Every
audited.
every agency of the federal government, it helps to know some things if we're going to have this debate. Every agency of the federal government is audited by independent inspectors general. USAID was audited over 60 times last year. And one of the first things that Donald Trump and Elon Musk did was to fire all of the inspectors general. They fired the auditors and they put in charge this billionaire with his 50 child interns who know absolutely nothing about the federal government. And Kevin, like what you're talking about, it might work for a company that makes widgets, because we can do without the company that makes widgets for a few months while you get in there and you restructure it. You can't do that to the FAA unless people aren't going to fly in planes for the next 4 or 5 months. You can't do that to the Defense Department unless you don't want to defend this country for the next 4 or 5 months. It's ridiculous that we're even having this argument, and I'm someone who believes there is waste in government and there are ways to get at it, but not by firing everybody first, shutting things down while you investigate. Do the investigation, work with Congress, work with these employees.
Literally got shut the fuck down and looks like a complete retard. Where in the fuck did he get the idea that these agencies aren't audited? Conservatives are just useless fucktards.
We're going to be selling a gold card. You have a green card. This is a gold card. We're going to be putting a price on that card of about $5 million, and that's going to give you green card privileges plus. It's going to be a route to citizenship, and wealthy people will be coming into our country by buying this card. They'll be wealthy.
I have to hear that again.
We're going to be selling a gold card. You have a green card. This is a gold card. We're going to be putting a price on that card of about $5 million, and that's going to give you green card privileges plus. It's going to be a route to citizenship, and wealthy people will be coming into our country by.
Great. Russian oligarchs, Chinese spies. Great. Yeah, they're all gonna come to the US.
Selling.
Oh god. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. Dodo, donate $2. Hate watching
Israel hasn't sent shit to Ukraine militarily. After Syria fell, Israel sent seized Hezbollah weapons full of Soviet stockpile to Ukraine. That's it. RU could have bolstered Iran more but don't because they don't wanna be on Israel's bad side. Pager go boom.
Yeah, I'm assuming Israel voting against the UN resolution had something to do with, you know, leverage from the United States. That's what I'd guess. Thanks for the donation, though, retard. Dodo, donate $2. Hate watching Jank shake his head over the stupidest shit. He acts like a dumb child. What do you think Jank is gonna say? Predict it before he speaks. Then again, your predictions are always wrong, buddy, but might as well try. He's probably just gonna scream and yell and not say anything coherent, like usual. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Busted a cap in her ass.
Okay, well, guess that's what happens when you fuck with somebody's car. Thanks for the donation, Killing Titan. Dodo, donate $2. Israel being cucked here, even China and Brazil abstained. Look at the countries. Yeah, I know, we've already seen that.
The most beautiful. That wasn't exactly what we agreed to. That is the most beautiful language. I have no idea what he's saying, but that is the most elegant, beautiful language.
Kind of weird.
Go down to nothing.
Would a Russian oligarch be eligible for a gold card?
Yeah, possibly. Hey, I know some Russian oligarchs that are very nice people. It's possible. They're not quite as wealthy as they used to be. They're not as wealthy as they used to be. I think they could afford. I think they could afford $5 million. So go down to.
Well, thanks for the donation, Dodo.
So I think he genuinely wants to end this senseless slaughter, and I've not seen a better idea, frankly, to getting this sorted than the kind of scenario that Trump has laid out, which is we get minerals and we supply some security, and the Europeans have to step up too and supply security, and that's how we move forward. Do you see a better way of resolving this? Here's Organized Censored is proudly independent. Our sponsors, hot cocoa for sleep. It's tested for high quality efficiency and formula all natural blend, meaning a good lie down .com/peers and use code peers at checkout. That's shopbeam.com/peers, P-I-E-R-S.
Oh my God.
Peers at checkout. Now, on with the show.
I don't know, Pierce, but even if you buy that benign view of Trump, that he just wants to end the war, I still don't know how you explain what he's done and said in the past month. If you wanted to end the war, then why are you only beating up on and bad-mouthing and lying about the country that was invaded? Lying, Pierce, that Ukraine started this war. I'm coming to you today, Pierce. The UN just passed a resolution earlier today on the 3-year anniversary calling on Russia to simply withdraw from sovereign Ukraine. The United States of America voted against that UN resolution. Think about that. The United States joined Russia and North Korea in voting against a simple resolution that says Russia get out of sovereign Ukraine. Every freedom democratic country in the world voted for that resolution.
You know why America has voted against it? It's because they know it's not going to happen. And they are trying, Trump is trying, and I believe this, I think he is a guy who prefers peace to war. I think he proved that in his first term. So regardless of the rhetoric, which I think is very unfortunate, I do think that the idea that America right now in this process is going to suddenly vote with the UN, which they feel is pretty discredited anyway, that they're going to vote with the UN resolution to kick Russia out, knowing it's not going to happen, how does that advance the cause of peace? It won't.
It's a resolution, Pierce, honoring the third-year anniversary of Putin's invasion. For the United States to simply say on the third-year anniversary that it was wrong for Putin to invade and he ought to withdraw, that seems like a fairly easy thing for the United States of America to do. But Trump can't do that because he will not distance himself from Putin.
Biden wouldn't have done it either.
I think he would have.
Really? I think
he would have.
I don't think so. But let me bring in Batia. I mean, Batia, look, we're at a very febrile moment in this whole war, but we could also be at the beginning of the end of the war. And if that is what is going on here, and there's a recognition on all sides it's got to come to an end, and we're now just trying to work out how that happens, what is your feeling about the kind of settlement it looks like is on the table?
So, Pierce, I so appreciate you being willing to admit this about Donald Trump, because you have been such a stalwart defender of the Ukraine, and yet you are 100% correct. Donald Trump hates war. He thinks it's totally wasteful. He thinks it's bad for business, and he wants this to end. You know, from the point of view of the American people, there's never been widespread support for this. The American people have never understood why this is our job to fund this. And I think Donald Trump expected when he came into office to find Zelensky the one eager to have this settled, and Putin the one sort of holding off and being recalcitrant. And when he found the opposite, and when he found Zelensky totally unwilling to do the most basic act of gratitude and give the United States a stake in these minerals, I think Trump got very angry about that.
Trump saying Ukraine started the war is the most disgusting, retarded statement a president has ever made. But remember that when you're a conservative that you can be a fucking retard and your whole base will still support you. Fuck Avi BTW for voting red.
Yeah. All these people are just fucking retarded. Thanks for the donation, lol, fuck you. Dodo donate $2, let me see. This guy thinks AIDS doesn't exist, by the way. Your father's take.
Well, let's go to the beginning of it all. The two astronauts were never stranded in any normal way we would use that term. And they were joining a half a dozen other astronauts on the International Space Station. There's plenty of food. Maybe they didn't bring enough changes of underwear. I don't know. But that would be like the worst case scenario. They're both experienced astronauts. And while I don't remember whether this is the longest time they spent in zero G in their astronaut career, but it's a while, and so they have to adjust to that, but they're professionals. So they're not stranded. Second, what a luxury it is to have a conversation about he said, she said, and who said what, when, I mean, think about it. We have options to bring them back from space. One of them is SpaceX. Right. And that's evidence to me that we are living in the future, that no one is worried about whether there exists a ship to bring them back. The Starliner for Boeing, that had some risk factors. NASA was not going to take that risk. So you push that aside. Who's up next? There's SpaceX. I'm good with that. And the rest of this is just distraction.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it is unfortunate. I say, you know, you read it and you think about people reading it and people using such words, especially people who have achieved so much and have, you run SpaceX, you have all of the things that someone has to speak like that. At best, it's deeply unfortunate. Let me ask you, Neil, also, the other context here is these asteroids, right? So then the city killer asteroid, I guess it's called.
Well, yeah, meanwhile, there's like asteroids bearing down on Earth.
So,
maybe
so
somebody
in
should
case
pay
we don't
attention.
destroy it ourselves, there's something else to do it for us. Okay, so, you know, it was kind of up and it was down, it was vacillating all over the place, and now they're downplaying that particular asteroid that they say now is more unlikely to hit a city.
It's not so much downplaying, there's better evidence available to tighten the uncertainty circle such that Earth is basically.
Elon Musk has contracts with the federal government. But he is also, I think, doing an effective job.
Conflict of interest! Show me!
There are a lot of people who don't want to see waste, abuse, and fraud weeded out. Some of them here today.
I don't want him in charge of it.
But he is appointed by the president, the chief executive, who can appoint whoever he can appoint you.
I thought it was your job. It is your job.
Elon Musk and the president have agreed that if there is any potential conflict of interest,
it is your job.
And it's clear here today that some people don't believe that would happen.
It is your job.
in the next election to elect someone that you.
These people literally just don't care. It's all just corporate corruption. They don't care. It's kind of hilarious how this is all backfiring and like Trump's approval rating is going down like crazy, even among Republicans. A lot of them don't like Doge. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Trump just hates war. He just wants the dying to stop. Also, let's turn Gaza into the Riviera and bomb Iran's nuclear facilities. Why can't we do both?
Yeah, he clearly does not have an issue with war, especially since he's claiming he's willing to use military force to take over the Panama Canal. Greenland is considering annexing Canada, so yeah. Thanks for the donation, retard.
Now, I want to address something that I think I agree with people. It seems a little mysterious. I hear people saying this all the time. Why is he, demeaning Zelensky and building up Putin? I think the answer to that is because Donald Trump is a deal maker, and he does not view international relations.
Dodo, donate $2. If Fauci ran for president, is there even a chance he could win if Trump's term went really badly and Republicans nominated J.D. Vance? Or could Fauci win? Yeah, there's no chance. Also, can you please make a video response to this and read comments?
Given that the Canadian and Mexican tariffs are moving forward, as Trump said recently, do you think Canadians' hatred of America has now hit a peak with Trump's presidency? Also, the Conservative PM replacing Trudeau won't cut to Trump, right?
No. Canadian conservatives don't like Trump. They're not crazy, insane wackos like Republicans. And yeah, if the tariffs go through, Canadians are gonna like Trump even less. Thanks for the donation, lol, fuck you.
One of the crudest practices is chick culling. Male chicks don't lay eggs, so they're killed right after birth, usually by gassing or grinding. 2 to 5 cents per egg. So if you pay 85 cents more for a dozen eggs, you can make a difference between serious chicken torture and pretty decent chicken lives killed this way each year. France and Germany have banned this, so many breeding eggs here are scanned early and only female birds hatch, which may have increased costs by only 2 to 5 cents per egg. So if you pay 85 cents...
I'm not gonna bother making a video about this. Whatever. Everyone's just a fucking idiot, Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Relations the way that the liberal post-world order saw things. The Obama administration, the Biden administration, they have this view of diplomacy that you need to sort of have two equals at the table, or as equal as possible. And so if your ally is the one who is stronger, you got to bring them down a little. If the person that you're not dealing with is weak, you lift them up a little. You get people to an even playing field, and then you can make a deal. And I think Donald Trump sees things in the exact opposite way. He sees them from a real estate point of view. You're never going to get a deal if both sides have equal power. What you actually want is a power disparity, because then the weaker party has more of an incentive to compromise. And the stronger party is going to compromise as well, because they get to remain the stronger party. And I think he is playing Putin like a fiddle. He knows that if he goes out there and builds up Zelensky and makes Putin feel the exact same fears about NATO not being that buffer zone and Ukraine not being a buffer zone, Ukraine being part of NATO, Putin will never come to the table. But if he says to Putin, I respect where you're coming from, I don't care about the history, I just want this to end, then that is what's going to get Putin to the table. And I think he assumed that because Ukraine has gotten $200 billion out of the American taxpayer, that they would be willing to come to the table too. And I think he's very upset that Zelensky has not turned out to be that way.
Okay, Cenk, you were laughing, but I mean,
this woman's a fucking retard.
That could be entirely accurate.
No, there's no chance that's accurate. Sorry about that. Okay, so look, at the beginning, this was a giant...
Dodo, donate $2. No, you don't like making videos because you're lazy, but at least respond to the video on stream, then clip and upload it because you haven't uploaded in 2 months. Also, the comments are full of cope. They need to be called out. Also, video is fresh. You will get views.
Housing aside,
nothing to talk about, dude. I know how chickens are fucking bred. Even if you use this egg scanning thing, these chickens are still fucking killed. The battery hens. Like, what, like, who cares? And yeah, I know pigs, like, factory farms, then they fucking talk about the free range myth. Then they just say, oh, grass-fed is better, when they don't even know what grass-fed is, they still get killed. All they're talking about is welfarism. Like, again, I've been making videos about this for like 10 years. Who cares? Like, how many fucking times do I have to make the same fucking video? It's just boring. It goes nowhere. No one cares. Thanks for the donation, dude.
Giant mystery. I didn't understand what was going on. I might have said this on your show, Piers. I was like, why would we be attacking our ally? Put aside the fact that they're our ally. It doesn't make any sense in negotiation. You want to put leverage on the opposing party, Russia, so that they're willing to get to a deal that we can live with and our ally can live with. Putting pressure on your own ally who's in the weaker position makes no logical sense in a negotiation ever. It's the exact opposite of what you're supposed to do. So putting aside any feelings about Zelensky and Russia, this isn't about that. Just in sheer negotiation, it makes no sense. Okay, so, but now I've solved it because it's clear now what's happening. Because they want the mineral rights. So he's putting pressure on Zelensky because he doesn't give a damn about what kind of deal Russia and Ukraine strike and how much land one keeps for the other. Do you know what's in the mineral? We keep calling it mineral rights. Titanium and lithium. Oh, who needs lithium? Oh, right, Tesla has lithium go in its batteries. Elon wants that lithium. So the deal that our Treasury Secretary pushed across the table to Zelensky when they were one-on-one and tried to bully him into signing was, we spent $100 or $200 billion in Ukraine. There's conflicting numbers. But look, we all want peace. We all want to stop spending that money. That's legitimate. The negotiations are perfectly legitimate. The drive for peace, perfectly legitimate. He pushes across a deal for $500 billion in mineral rights. And here's the most important thing that American voters have to understand. Those minerals do not go to us, the American taxpayers, the American citizens. They go to American corporations. We are going to get $0 out of that. But Elon Musk is going to get fabulously even richer. He wants that lithium, and he doesn't care about Russia or Ukraine. So this is a robbery now, and that's why they're pressuring Zelensky instead of Putin.
Okay, Dave Smith, it's a robbery. Piers Morgan Uncensored is now proudly independent. If you like the show, we ask for only one thing. Subscribe on YouTube and follow Piers Morgan Uncensored on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Old and 655.
People own it or something. I mean, like, whoever homesteaded it or something about Lockean property rights. But, you know, there's been this major change in Donald Trump's rhetoric towards Zelensky. Through the campaign and through the very beginning of his administration, he would always just say he had a great relationship with him and he thinks he can get a deal done. Something there has changed for sure. But in terms of the stuff, look, if you're trying to negotiate a peace to this and you accept that we're not going to get the Biden-Nancy Pelosi pipe dream, which was always a pipe dream, your brother was correct about that, Piers, that we were going to, you know, repel Vladimir Putin from Crimea. This was all just ridiculous. And hundreds of thousands of people died in the pursuit of this unachievable policy. And if we can all accept that we're going to get some type of settlement here, that we're going to have to negotiate an end to this war, and that Ukraine isn't going to be able to defeat the Russians militarily, then obviously it makes absolutely no sense to sign on to these virtue signaling UN resolutions. It makes absolutely no sense for him to be just out there insulting Vladimir Putin, which seems to be the demand from so many progressive Democrats. Like, listen, it's not a question of whether you think Vladimir Putin is good or bad. And I would agree with you. I mean, me and you do not see eye to eye on this issue, Piers, but I agree. It's not accurate to say Zelensky started the war. There are many factors, but Vladimir Putin is the one who invaded the country. But the point is, if you have a hostage negotiation, if someone with a gun runs into a school and holds a bunch of kids hostage and you send in the negotiator, you don't start insulting the guy and just virtue signaling for no reason and talking about how terrible it is to hold kids hostage and what a monster he is, and I'm such a better person than him. I would never do anything like that. And the truth is, you do, in some cases, try to flatter.
This is a false analogy. Russia isn't holding anybody hostage.
The guy a little bit, try to get the best deal that you can get. You're trying to save lives here. And I'm not going to speculate like Cenk did on, I don't think this lithium is going to end up being turned over to Elon. And I think it's quite possible that Donald Trump does have some good motives here. And that the truth is that Joe Biden's policy with regard to Ukraine is the most reckless policy in the history of the modern American policy in general. To be on a proxy war with the two countries with the 90% of the world's nuclear arsenal, to be in a proxy war over whether the Donbass region is ruled by Kiev or Moscow, never made any sense whatsoever. And there have been close calls all throughout this thing. If you think about the Nord Stream pipeline, where we made the attempt to blame that on Vladimir Putin, which was never true. If you think about those missiles that hit Poland, which were Ukrainian missiles, which Ukraine immediately said was Russia, there were very close calls here. If you study the history of the Cold War, we came very close to nuclear war on a couple different occasions. And so I'm sorry, if Donald Trump is trying to bring an end to this war, then I think if he's successful in that, it'll be the greatest accomplishment of his life. And I'm all for trying to end this war.
Okay, General Kimmett, I mean,
That's not the question. No, he's misdirecting, though. That's not the question. We all want the war to end. And I don't need him to yell at Putin. I don't need him to sign anything. I just need him to do rational negotiations so that everyone on here is happy and the war ends. And I don't need like Ukraine to win on every negotiating point. I just want to get the peace. If you want to get the peace, holding up Ukraine for a $500 billion robbery that is obviously going to go to help American corporations like Tesla who need that lithium, that makes no sense. And that hurts the cause that you care about, Dave, and that all of us care about.
I'm not as convinced, Czech, this is all just some play by Elon. I mean, I think if America can do a deal that gets a lot of Ukraine's minerals in return for the substantial support America's given to Ukraine and would then continue to give, it seems to me a pretty pragmatic deal, actually. My question for General Kimmett would be this, which is, I wouldn't trust Putin as far as I could throw him. And I think his actions in Georgia, in Crimea, now Ukraine, full Ukraine, all this suggests to me is the theory that many people have about him, which is that he wishes the Soviet Union had never been broken up, that he is intent on expanding Russia's territory, and that if he gets away with keeping 20% of Ukraine, then he'll either come back for more or he'll try and get it somewhere else and try and expand Russia's power and territorial reach elsewhere. And I've got to say, I'm very cynical. I think that's exactly what he'd like to do. Am I wrong to be cynical?
No, I don't think you're wrong at all. Now, look, he's paid a pretty heavy price in terms of what he's lost in Ukraine. Hundreds of thousands of dead, probably 10 times that amount wounded. But you've got to understand that the Russians can take pain like nobody's business. What he has lost in Ukraine is a fraction of what they lost in World War II. And he
Dave
is testing
Smith
NATO.
is such a slimy fuck. He absolutely believes that Ukraine, or at least the West and NATO, instigated Russia to invade Ukraine. Him saying that Putin started the war is a total backpedal. He thinks Euromaidan was a CIA coup by Democrats Lamau.
Yeah, he probably realizes that talking point isn't taken seriously, so he's, again, just trying to gaslight people. Thanks for the donation, retard.
There's no doubt about that. If he wanted to attack, he could continue this attack, not in Ukraine, but up in the Baltics, and take back that critical area up in the Baltics that gives him access to the Atlantic and the North Atlantic. The only thing I think that is holding him back is that it's not a matter of what he would lose. It's a matter of the fact that he goes from fighting one country, Ukraine, to fighting 27 countries in NATO. So I do think that he does not think for a moment about what he's lost in Ukraine and the effect it has on his population. That's the beauty of being an authoritarian leader. But I do believe that he has those long-term aspirations, as so many Russian monarchs have had throughout history, of expanding the Russian Empire well beyond where it is now. But I will tell you that I disagree with what Boris Johnson told you about, and to use your term, NATO expansion. The fact is that one could make a legitimate argument that the Russians have had a paranoia throughout history about the encroachment of the West. The word Ukraine means the frontier. The Russians have always wanted a frontier between themselves and the West. And if you want to make that argument, that there was some legitimacy of his concern of NATO enlargement and try to dismiss it, I would remind Americans about the Monroe Doctrine. We go ballistic when foreign countries get anywhere near the United States, as we've done in the past. We invaded Grenada, that great existential threat to America. We invaded Panama, yet another threat to the freedom and liberty of Americans. And the only time we really had a legitimate reason for doing that was in '62, when the Soviet Union put nuclear missiles on Cuba. But let's be honest.
This is the most ridiculous nonsense he could ever fucking say. Russia invades their neighbors all the time, constantly. Like, what are you fucking talking about? Just total bullshit. The idea that, oh, it's considered an aggressive action to join NATO. Russia invades their neighbors. What are you talking about? Like, it's so stupid.
Americans have the same paranoia about encroachment into our hemisphere as Putin does into what he believes is his hemisphere as well.
Yeah, I do get that argument. I know it's the one that he peddles loudest with his own people.
Oh, I'm not... Everybody here is just stupid. I don't care.
Along with Michael Keaton and Gina Davis.
Just listening to fucking Piers Morgan is such a fucking waste of time.
In 1990, Alec had the leading role in the movie The Hunt for Red October. Over the next several years, Alec acted in many other movies, including Malice, The Juror, Ghosts of Mississippi, The Edge, Pearl Harbor, The Aviator, and The Departed. From 2006 to 2013, he was on the NBC sitcom 30 Rock. Alec continued to have success in movies, including the 2017 film The Boss Baby. As far as his personal life, Alec married the actress Kim Basinger in 1993, and they had a daughter. The couple divorced in 2002. In 2007, Alec left a voicemail message for his daughter, who was 11 years old at the time, calling her a, quote, rude, thoughtless little pig, unquote. In 2012, Alec married a yoga instructor named Ilaria, who is 26 years younger than him. They went on to have 7 children. In October 2021, a tragedy occurred that would cost one person her life and permanently damage Alec Baldwin's reputation. Alec was functioning as both an actor and a producer in a Western titled Rust. The movie, which had a budget of about $7 million, was being shot on the Bonanza Creek Ranch in Bonanza City, New Mexico, just south of Santa Fe. On October 21, which was day 12 of the filming, Alec was rehearsing scene 118, which featured his character, Harlan Rust, drawing a single-action revolver from a shoulder holster as he sits in a pew inside a small church. The revolver was a replica of a Colt single-action Army chambered in .45 long. It had been loaded by the armor and prop master, Hannah Gutierrez Reed, and left on a cart. The weapon was supposed to contain dummy rounds. However, one of the cartridges was a live round. The assistant director, Dave Halls, declared the firearm to be a cold gun, meaning it was not loaded with cartridges containing propellant. Dave handed the revolver to Alec. At about 1:48 p.m., as crew members were repositioning a camera to remove a shadow.
Dude Jenkins hilarious. He's like trying to connect the dots and create this narrative. Elon, Trump, minerals, lithium. Are they trying to make Elon more rich? Now it's probably somewhat right, but hey, at least he makes Trump seem evil.
Jenk didn't even make any good arguments. There's no point in watching fucking Piers Morgan. It's just idiots going on inane rambles, talking about shit they have no clue about. Thanks for the donation, though, stars.
Alec talked about how he was going to draw the weapon. He said, "So I guess I'm going to take this out, pull it, and go bang." As the weapon was pointed at the cinematographer Helena Hutchins, Alec fired a single round from the revolver, which struck Helena, passed through her, and struck the director, Joel Souza. Joel survived, but Helena did not. An investigation determined that only 3 people handled the revolver used in the lethal shooting of Helena Hutchins: Hannah Gutierrez Reed, who loaded the revolver, Dave Halls, who handed the revolver to Alec, and Alec Baldwin, who fired the revolver. The state argued that even if one of these people had performed their job properly, no one would have died. Ultimately, Hannah was convicted of involuntary manslaughter, and Dave Halls pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor charge of negligent use of a deadly weapon. Alec Baldwin was charged with involuntary manslaughter and went on trial in July 2024. On July 12, the charges against Alec Baldwin were dismissed after the judge came to believe that the state engaged in prosecutorial misconduct when they failed to turn over evidence to the defense. As I've talked about in other videos, I believe that Alec Baldwin was not guilty of any crime, and the prosecution was malicious. Even so, Alec bears moral culpability in the death of Helena Hutchins. With the dismissal, the criminal part of Alec's journey was over, but he is still facing some civil lawsuits. He also filed a lawsuit against the prosecutors in New Mexico. In June 2024, prior to the dismissal of the involuntary manslaughter charge, filming started on a TLC reality series titled The Baldwins. The series premiered on February 23, 2025. The show follows the adventures of Alec, his wife Ilaria, and their 7 children. Examining the legal issues surrounding the Rust shooting was not the purpose of the show, rather it highlighted relational dynamics, like how Alec was coping and how his family was functioning. Here is a summary of the first episode of The Baldwins. Most of the episode takes place in the Baldwins' 5-bedroom apartment in Manhattan. It is home to Alec, Ilaria, their 7 children, 4 dogs, and 4 cats. The Baldwins also have a nanny, but it's not clear if she lives there as well. Through a series of interviews, Alec and Ilaria talk about various topics. Here are a few examples of what they said. Ilaria married Alec because he was a good-looking guy. She considers him to be smart and generous. The world misunderstands him, and he has a tender soul. She claimed that Alec had OCD. Various segments of the episode showed Alec struggling to keep the apartment clean. Ilaria indicated that she did not understand the prenuptial agreement that she signed. Alec liked Ilaria because she was special. He mentioned how the past year had been difficult. His main concern was letting his children know that he loves them. In this episode, the couple prepared to take their 7 children and many of their pets from New York City to East Hampton on Long Island. Alec has a large house in East Hampton. This is where the family spends their summers. The family drove to Long Island and settled in for the summer as Alec and Ilaria coped with the stress of the upcoming trial. At this point, of course, they had no idea that the involuntary manslaughter charge would be dismissed. Ilaria indicated that she and Alec would carry the pain of Helena's death forever, and Alec suffered from mental health symptoms due to the tragedy. At the end of the episode, the couple talked about how it was important to make their children happy. The children deserve to have a childhood free from all this turmoil. Now moving to my analysis. Here are my thoughts on a few areas that stood out to me in this case. Item number 1. Why did Alec Baldwin agree to have his life turned into a reality series? This is an unusual move for a famous Hollywood actor, and the timing was terrible. Again, when filming started, he was still facing criminal charges. Anything that he said while filming could have been used against him. My guess is that Alec agreed to do the series for a couple of reasons: money and to repair his reputation. In legal filings, his lawyers indicated that Alec lost acting roles due to being prosecuted by the state of New Mexico. This supports the theory that money was a motive. As far as his reputation, there is no doubt that it was damaged by the Rust shooting. Alec has repeatedly tried to distance himself from any culpability, but his critics are numerous and enthusiastic. The reality show gives Alec a chance to demonstrate how much he cares for his family. Maybe he believes that will be enough to change public opinion about him. This brings me to item number 2. There were several elements of the first episode which were consistent with Alec trying to garner sympathy. A few examples. Ilaria mentioned how Alec had post-traumatic stress disorder. Sometimes he had trouble getting out of bed. The episode used video from a police interview room where Alec had a strong reaction after being informed that Helena Hutchins was dead. And the show prominently featured Alec interacting with and expressing concern for his children. Item number 3. A few controversial elements were touched on during the episode, but briefly and insincerely. For example, Not much time was spent talking about Helena's death. It was more about how her death caused suffering for the Baldwins. The 26-year age gap between Alec and Ilaria was explained by Ilaria in a flippant manner, almost like it was no big deal. At various times in the episode, Alec looked tired and ragged, like he should have been the children's grandfather instead of father. And Ilaria's history of impersonating a Spanish person was carelessly dismissed as a non-issue. She stated, quote, "I love English. I also love Spanish. And when I mix the two, it doesn't make me inauthentic. When I mix the two, that makes me normal," unquote. I have a separate video that covers the Ilaria Baldwin Spanish impersonation scandal. Item number 3. Did Alec Baldwin do himself any favors by appearing in this reality show, The Baldwins? There are a few problems with the show which could hurt Alec. One of the most noticeable is how it tries to combine the tragic killing of Helena Hutchins with a lighthearted romp to the Hamptons for the wealthy Baldwin family. Some stories just can't be combined. There is a compatibility issue. It was like they were trying to combine The Exorcist with Sister Act. Another challenge is the impact of the legal situation being resolved. The dismissal can be viewed in two ways. With the large stressor now removed, the show can focus on playful topics without seeming as inauthentic. Maybe this will be good for it, like the Baldwins escaped from under the dark cloud. On the other hand, the legal drama was compelling. It was the primary reason that Alec has been in the news. In my opinion, putting the legal situation in the rearview mirror is a good thing for the show. At the same time, if Alec tries to play the victim in future episodes of The Baldwins, and I have a feeling that he will, this will not be well received. Even if he has mental health symptoms caused by the shooting, which is believable, people do not want to hear about how tough his life is because he shot and killed a woman. It doesn't matter if he was criminally responsible or not. Alec has repeatedly denied pulling the trigger of the revolver, but there is no doubt he did. He simply will not accept responsibility. Moving back to the original question, did Alec do himself any favors with the show? I think Alec did humanize himself a little bit, but his lack of genuineness is impossible to overcome. The show is not worth watching. It is unnecessary, boring, and feels like an awkward and forced attempt to revive a reputation which has already died. This brings me to my final item, number 4. What do I think happened in this case? This is just a theory, my opinion. Before the Rush shooting, Alec Baldwin was a well-liked actor who received a lot of calls about new projects. He was in demand, quite popular. After the shooting, his world changed dramatically. Now he is a pariah, an outcast, a man who pointed a firearm at a woman and pulled the trigger. Alec was hoping the shooting...
Would you approve of these heroes exposing pedophiles?
To have sex with a little girl on the day that your baby's being born?
I don't know. I fucked up.
What's your daughter gonna think the day she was born? You came out to me, motherfucking child. Yeah, man. You ain't even fucking.
Oh my God!
Yet.
Come on! Ow! Stop!
You ain't even crying yet, brother.
Please stop! Ow! Stop!
Yeah, you shouldn't do that. If you want these people to get prosecuted, you really shouldn't do that. I'm not gonna say they don't deserve to get hit, but you really shouldn't do that.
Boy, late as fuck at night to be friends. Why would you think that? And what are you right?
No.
Yeah, bitch, what you?
Man, Alec Baldwin just can't help being so smug now, can he?
I don't think I can play this shit on YouTube, dude. It's just people getting assaulted. So, thanks for the donation, Ben. I don't think Baldwin's being smug, but thanks for the donation, Dodo.
would be declared an accident, and he would simply move on. But the echo of that fatal gunshot permanently separated him from the man he once was. He managed to avoid criminal consequences, but he could not escape being despised. Whether Alec wanted to admit it or not, his career was mortally wounded, rusting away in the saltwater of public contempt. He has struggled to cope with this loss. In a strange way, Alec remains in the spotlight, but the
Nighty-night, Cat Daddy.
glow is not one of adoration. Rather, he has been struck by the glare of scrutiny and judgment. Alec has been transformed into a haunting and hideous creature whose moans of irrelevance can barely be heard behind the walls of a society that demands justice. His fate is to stumble awkwardly in plain view for the remainder.
Strap in, because this story is a wild ride, and it really gives you a peek into the dark psychology of Elon Musk. Now, I know it seems like baby mama drama on the surface, and it sort of is, because Elon Musk has multiple of his exes, the mothers of his children, tagging him on Twitter, multiple, saying, dude, we can't get a hold of you. Can you please respond? You have a child to take care of. At the same time, he's involved in a new lawsuit with the mother of his 13th child, his secret 13th child, and it really gives you a peek into his psychology, like I said, because she shows some texts of Elon Musk acting very paranoid. You know, I was reading this article the other day while I was on the plane, and it was written in 2010, before Donald Trump or Elon Musk were large political figures. And it was talking about people who have narcissistic delusions. And it says that they have no reality tests, so they begin to create their own reality, and they think they are saving the world. And then as they create their own reality, they get increasingly paranoid and delusional. And that is exactly what we are seeing with Elon Musk. And I just want to break this all down from top to bottom. So drop a like, subscribe, and let's start from the beginning. So let's start here. Ashley St. Clair. Let me introduce this character. This is the mother of Elon Musk's secret 13th child. She's a right-wing Twitter provocateur who's always tweeting funny stuff, you know. And yeah, she said the other day on Valentine's Day, hey, I had a baby with Elon Musk. She responded publicly to Elon Musk on Twitter and said, Elon, we have been trying to communicate for the past several days and you have not responded. When are you going to reply to us? So Elon Musk's baby mamas are now begging him on Twitter. And there's another one. She then says, when are you going to reply to us? Instead of publicly responding to smears from an individual who just posted photos of me in underwear at 15 years old. So she said this on the 15th. 5 days.
Dodo, donate $2. Send me 3, but with Scott Mendelson, Steven Seagal. This was a great video if you want to watch it. If you need something good to watch, I already watched it.
In a 2008 Joe Rogan podcast.
We can take a look at that next. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Days later, Grimes, another character I want to introduce, the mother of X, the mother of a few other of Elon Musk's children. She is a singer. She said, please respond about our child's medical crisis. I am sorry to do this publicly, but it is no longer acceptable to ignore this situation. This requires immediate attention. If you don't want to talk to me, can you please designate or hire someone who can so that we can move forward on solving this? This is urgent, Elon. Elon Musk's exes are desperately trying to reach him on the app while he trolls, while he goes around and says, I am become meme. See, Elon Musk said, I am become meme at CPAC, and he thought he was like this big memer. This person said, quote, fucked up on so many drugs that you can't even show your eyes to the public while baby mama number 3 is begging you online to save your sick child. I am become meme, basically saying that
Dodo, donate $2. You skipped Steven Seagal, Grandmaster Bay.
If a fish jumps, so shall the water jump. It is just the law of nature. It is unreasonable to fight it. Be a tree in the wind. Go.
Are you playing games soon? Hopefully you finish the DLC soon so you can play Life is Strange. We already beat the Ghost of Tsushima DLC. And, we might play games later. We'll see. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Elon Musk is a piece of shit. But this is where it starts to get deeper and it starts to get kind of weird. I know this all seems like drama, but just wait. Elon Musk then began to use his back-end Twitter powers to ban Grimes and remove her posts. So that original post from Grimes randomly said, this post is unavailable. Nobody could see it anymore. So Grimes responds again. I'm not giving any details, but he won't respond to texts, calls, or emails, and has skipped every meeting. And our child will suffer lifelong impairment if he doesn't respond ASAP, so I need him to effing respond, and I have to apply public pressure, then I guess that's where we're at. And that one got removed as well. And Grimes then said in a later post, if Elon's gonna keep removing my posts, I'm just gonna stop responding to him. But again, this dude is removing his ex posts, and we're not even halfway through. This is where it gets wild. Elon Musk then begins to manually hide the term Grimes or Grimes' specific username on Twitter so you can't look it up. Someone said this deadbeat loser manually hid the tweet and shadow banned Grimes entirely. Now, This is where Ashley St. Clair then hits Elon Musk with a massive paternity suit. This happened early this morning, and she seeks sole custody of the 5-month-old son, and the arguments she's making are actually quite convincing, because you read through their texts, and Elon Musk not only seems hyper paranoid, he doesn't give a shit about the child, he also clearly only cares about grabbing power. I mean, remember, while all of this drama is happening, Elon Musk is sending out hundreds of tweets a day. Let me just pull up his Twitter. This dude tweets more than I've ever seen anyone post. Look at, he tweeted 55 seconds ago, and he said, I strive to be less retarded. He said this 55 seconds ago. I just refreshed. He said 7 minutes ago, LMAO. He said 9 minutes ago. It's a tweet about, I don't know, US aid. He retweeted something 10 minutes ago, 11 minutes ago. I mean, it's nonstop. It's a nonstop barrage of BS. And meanwhile, his baby mama is trying to get a hold of him. We'll get to that. So included are several depressing text exchanges in this lawsuit. And this amazing photo of Elon Musk wearing a t-shirt for the Half-Life video game while making a strange face at his son, who seems to be distracting Musk from using X to tweet more, which is just hilarious. Musk seems responsive after Ashley St. Clair gave birth. This jarring text exchange in the paternity petition shows Ashley St. Clair in the bed with the newborn son. All Elon Musk can say is, all well. And she said, he is perfect. And Elon said, I look forward to seeing you and him this weekend. And then you can see he said falling asleep. It's very short. And then in a separate text, Elon Musk says, hi, cutie. She says, see you soon. Elon says, I want to knock you up again. Sorry, I should have put a trigger warning because that's a disgusting thought of Elon Musk having sex. But either way, Elon Musk doesn't care about the child. He wants to impregnate Ashley St. Clair again. Now, a final text exhibit shows St. Clair sending a large block of text to Elon Musk, or EM, on her phone, asking to meet in person due to communication struggles. Okay, Elon Musk responds. Just, okay. Well, I do have a legion of kids to make. Again, Elon Musk is going through this odd power grab, and this is the one that I thought really showed his psychology. He said, I get credible death threats every day. I'm number 2 after Trump for assassination. Wake up. What an asshole. He's just like, wake up to his Ashley St. Clair. This is not the time for sentiment at the expense of safety. If I made a mistake on security, the baby will never know his father. And she said, that's why the father spot on his birth certificate is blank right now, Elon. And that's why he has my last name. And Elon said, necessary for now. Only the paranoid survive. So again, Elon Musk thinks he's on this weird quest to save humanity. He talks about this all the time. He thinks that going to Mars will save humanity and he needs to do whatever to get there, even if it includes making 13 children, not even helping raise the children other than maybe financially. He said, only the paranoid survive. And then St. Clair said, I understand. Apologies if Eva's text upset you. There's been incredible discretion. And he said, the threat level will reach insane levels until the election is decided. Loose lips sink ships. And he's just incredibly, incredibly paranoid. I mean, we talk a lot about how much of a loser Elon Musk is, and while that's true, you also have to remember he's also just a terrible human being, and he's kind of an asshole. This says, on September 21st of 2024 in New York City, Musk met the baby for just 2 hours, then an hour later in the day. The next and final time that Musk saw his newest child was November 30th of 2024. That's the last time he saw his newest child, for only 30 minutes, according to the petition. I mean, remember, he has 13 children. I doubt he ever sees any of them, and it's not really our business. It's not our business to say what Elon Musk should or shouldn't do, but you probably should see your children, man. Or at least make the trade-off of tweeting a little bit less to go see your children a little bit more. I mean, it's an easy trade-off to make, especially since you can refresh Elon Musk's Twitter at any moment, and there's a tweet like less than a minute ago. I think he has a team running it because there's no way one dude is tweeting this much. But either way, I'll leave it at that. It's an interesting story that really gives an insight into Elon Musk's psychology, from him banning people, straight up banning dissent on the app that he owns, to boosting political opinions that agree with him.
When Elon Musk was asked whether he entertains the idea that the universe could be simulated, famously said, the argument for simulation is quite strong. We're most likely in a simulation. The topic sounds like it's straight out of a sci-fi movie, but whoever thought self-driving electric cars would be a reality 30 years ago? So what may sound absurd today shouldn't always be dismissed. The question of whether all this, everything you see around you, including all the memories as well as your very consciousness, could be inside an artificial computer is a profound one. Could our entire reality be nothing more than pixels on an advanced simulation? Could you and I have been living a lie, unwittingly participating in a sadistic video game subject to the programming and whims of a higher intelligence? Let's take a look at whether this is scientifically plausible or as preposterous as it sounds. And if it's plausible,
we need evil liberals that don't give a fuck. Sorry, don't give a fuck about your tranny science. I only care about Hamilton, Europe, and strapping Elon to a nuclear-armed missile aimed at China. Don't even have to launch it. Just let him rot to death on it.
Democrats are kind of useless and spineless, so they're probably not going to do that. But thanks for the donation, retard.
how would we test it? That's coming up right now. The simulation hypothesis suggests that everything we experience, our whole universe and everyone in it, could actually be an advanced digital simulation created by a higher order, technologically advanced civilization. Think of it as an incredibly complex version of the video games and VR simulations we have today, but so advanced that it is indistinguishable from reality. Supporters of this idea frequently mention progress in technology and virtual worlds to imply that cultures much more advanced than ours might generate simulations so detailed that even the complexity of a character's simulated brain would be enough to make it sentient. But these characters would be oblivious to their existence in the digital world. And if this is possible, then how would we know whether our world is not such a simulation? How realistic is such a notion? We can get an idea by estimating the amount of computing power that such a complex simulation would require. Hans Moravec of Carnegie Mellon University, an expert in robotics and AI, has made a rough estimate of the amount of computing power needed to simulate a human mind. He calculates that this would require about 10 to the 14 operations per second. This is based on computer modeling of individual nervous tissue. Other experts calculate this number to be even larger, up to 10 to the 21 operations per second. This level.
Some skinny, druggy fake punched me on the bus today. Should I beat his ass? You can never win against stupid, so if you let dumbasses just drag you into their stupid shit, you never really win, dude.
Level of computing power could make the simulated beings conscious because they would essentially have exactly the same brain capability of any real humans. Do we have the capability to perform these kinds of computations? No, not currently, but many people, including Ray Kurzweil, director at Google, have argued that such technology is less than 20 years away. K. Eric Drexler, a PhD engineer from MIT, outlined a design for a system the size of a sugar cube that could perform 10 to the 21 operations per second. And Robert Bradbury has conceptualized a hypothetical computing megastructure called a matryoshka brain based on a planet-sized Dyson sphere that would have computing power on the order of 10 to the 42 operations per second. Based on the highest number needed to simulate the brain, 10 to the 21, a total computing power of 10 to the 31 would be all that's needed to simulate the brains of every single person on Earth. But to make a universe simulation, not only would the brain need to be simulated, but also our environment and the passage of time. How much computing power would this require? Well, simulating the entire universe down to the quantum level would require a computer theoretically bigger than the size of the universe. So that's not possible. But if all we're trying to do is create a realistic simulation for humans, we don't need that level of granularity. When people look up at the night sky, for example, those stars and other objects can be simulated with very few pixels to give it sufficient realism. So for example, if the computer detected that a human was about to look at a planet through a telescope or bacteria through a microscope, it could fill in the details in the moment the observation was being made. Moreover, since all human perception resides in the brain, any perception of an external universe could simply be simulated within the brains of all the simulated humans, requiring no external universe to even exist. So really, in terms of computing power, all that's needed to create a universe is sufficient capacity to simulate the brain. In that case, most of the universe would just be an illusion inside the brain. So if Bradbury's matryoshka brain could be built, it could simulate billions of such universes. But a much smaller structure, the size of, say, the Empire State Building, could easily simulate millions of universes. How likely is all this? Nick Bostrom, philosopher and principal researcher at MacroStrategy Research Initiative, who popularized the idea of simulation theory, has argued that there are three possibilities for the future of advanced intelligent beings in the universe. 1. Almost all civilizations at our current level of development go extinct before reaching technological maturity that can support running ancestor simulations. 2. Almost all technologically mature civilizations lose interest in running ancestor simulations. Or 3. If 1 and 2 are not true, then we are almost certainly living in a computer simulation. Additionally, Bostrom created mathematical models to attribute probabilities to each of these scenarios. So the rationale here is that if civilizations similar to ours continue to be on a rising technological trajectory, unless they all go extinct or have no interest, will inevitably create simulations that mimic their ancestors. And they could potentially create many of them, perhaps millions or billions of such simulations. If so, then the odds favor that we are more likely to be in one of those billions of simulations than the only one true reality. So on the surface, this seems to favor simulation. But this rationale relies on several key assumptions that are worth questioning. First, Bostrom's hypothesis is unfalsifiable. We can't ever prove that we're not in a simulation because any evidence we collect could itself be simulated. As French philosopher René Descartes realized, we can't know that we aren't manipulated into believing the world is real. But Occam's razor tells us that that's a poor reason for believing it. If it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, is it more rational to believe it's a simulated robot than a duck? This seems like a birds aren't real meme. Another problem is whether it's possible to simulate consciousness. We don't yet know the mechanism of consciousness or what part of the brain is responsible for it. I suppose it could work if we expect that it will simply emerge if enough simulated neurons are connected to each other. But if consciousness arises from something more than connected neurons, then simulating a conscious being might not be possible. A corollary to this is how would we simulate the subconscious or unconscious part of the brain since we're not even aware of it? Finally, Bostrom assumes that advanced civilizations would want to dedicate a significant portion of their total computational and energy generating capability to ancestor simulations, which raises the question, why? What motivation would such beings have to simulate multiple universes and its intricate details? Some scientists have argued that quantum mechanics support the idea of a simulation. For example, the quantized nature of matter and energy might be a consequence of the storage limits of the underlying computer, similar to the limited memory capacity of a hard drive that creates discrete pixels on a screen. In addition, the observer effect, where quantum systems only have definite values when observed, might be a sign of this limitation. And quantum entanglement, where distant objects appear to simultaneously take on complementary values, might be due to a code setting global values. But the problem is that if the phenomena of quantum physics is due to simulation, then the physics of the base reality can't be quantum, since it's by definition not simulated. The quantum effects would not occur there, And this is where this idea falls apart, because if base reality is not quantum, then it works by a completely different mechanism than the physics laws we're aware of. Quantum physics is the basis of all reality, including chemistry and biology. Atoms could not form without it. There would be no living things as we understand them. So what exactly are the advanced beings trying to simulate? Because this universe would be nothing like a universe without quantum physics. In a 2017 paper written by theoretical physicists Zohar Ringel and Dimitri Kovrizin from the University of Oxford and the Hebrew University in Israel, found that classical systems cannot create the mathematics necessary to describe quantum systems. According to them, classical computers could not be controlling our universe. I believe Bostrom, by clever but ultimately flawed reasoning, has picked out a low probability future to make it appear inevitable, when it really isn't. It requires a fantasy universe where technological advancement has had no limits, where planet-sized computers exist with near unlimited energy for simulating essentially advanced VR games. Why would such a civilization want to do this? Large gaps in reasoning seem to have been overlooked. The entire theory seems preposterous. But what bothers me most is how this currently very fashionable idea of a simulation is actually so harmful to our society. It devalues every problem and challenge we face. Climate change, income inequality, homelessness. Never mind, because surprise, it's all a fantasy. It's all a mirage created in a fantasy computer by fantasy intelligence. It's all in our head. The universe is a giant computer screen, so no need to worry about it. Really, we need to stop with this nonsense. Now, I could stop right here, but I know many of you might disagree and say, okay, I get it, Arvin, you have a strong opinion. But what if you're wrong? What would it take to prove to you that we live in a simulation? Fair enough. Here are some things that, while not proving the theory, would give me pause if true. First, cosmic rays. If we're living in a simulation, there might be physical limitations on how much energy can exist in our universe. Specifically, the idea is that cosmic rays, the high energy particles from outer space, might have energy limit due to the finite resources of the simulation. If there's a sudden drop-off in the energy levels of cosmic rays that doesn't fit our understanding of physics, it could suggest that the simulation has hit a computational limit. Testing these energy levels could give us a clue. Quantum error correction is another fascinating possibility. In quantum computing, error corrections are made in order to maintain the stability of quantum information. This reduces the effect from environmental decoherence and noise. Sometimes this is done by redundancy, multiple copies of the same code. If the universe were a simulation, we might expect similar error-correcting codes to be built into the fabric of reality. For example, if space-time is found to be a complex network of interconnected points, where duplicate information is encoded throughout the universe, it may have the ability to correct errors by adjusting local disturbances. This could be an indication that the universe is a maintained system, like a running program. That could be evidence of a simulation. We could also test the physical constants of the universe, such as the speed of light, the gravitational constant, or the charge and mass of an electron. If we're living in a simulation, these constants could be subtly altered in different parts of the universe, possibly due to the limitations of the simulation's resources. Any slight variation in these constants would be a strong indicator that something artificial could be at play. Similarly, inexplicable anomalies or glitches could indicate a bug in the system. But so far, no such variation or glitches has been detected. But it could be that we haven't been looking in the right places. Ongoing tests could help us rule this out. From a practical perspective, even if such a simulation were possible, proving or disproving it from within may be an exercise in futility. We'd need access to the external reality in order to compare it to our simulated one. But how would we have access to this if we're in the simulation? An avatar on a screen can't come out of the screen. So far, all indications are that our reality is quite real, as much as we may want to escape it. All our problems and anguish, as well as our joys and euphoria, are real. And the best we can do is to treat it as the base reality that it most likely is. Speaking of base versus simulated reality, our sponsor today, NVIDIA AI, have created what...
All right.
Wants to know, could Sam Sulik, who has a proper tan, be...
Oh, wait.
Israetel, the man at the top looking down. Hey, Mike. You're not going to believe it. I met up and recorded with none other than Dr. Mike Israetel. And so I'm going to explain what we're doing, what we talked about. How did it go? How did it not go? Newsflash, it went horribly wrong. And so let's get right into it. And so I posted on Instagram some photos. Coach Greg and Dr. Mike shirtless with the yellow shorts. And the caption reads, who had the better tan? And so 41% Gregging my Doucette, Miking my Israetel, 24%. Collab with Mike is crazy work, 35%. And so immediately people, they're excited. They're Gregging their Doucettes, Miking their Israetels. They cannot believe that this actually happened. And in case you're new to this, Dr. Mike, he represents RP. It's short for really pale. And so he coaches people, speaks science. He has a PhD. And so Damien, the fat ass writes, thought this was AI. And so many people thought this is so unlikely, so sketched that it had to be make-believe. It couldn't have actually happened. And the most popular post of all, Lex Little. Bro just posted to Mog. And so one of the things we talked about was Mike Israetel hating editor Steve. My brother, he couldn't stand him. After all, how would he dare to edit these videos? He should know better. But the reality is this: Steve didn't edit those videos. And so the comment from the actual editor, it says, T-O-Matic, 5'6" 56% body fat. Somebody said, no, he's probably under 20% body fat. He said, look, I'm kidding. I think if he was tanned, you would see he's only around 5-ish% body fat. And so we all know it's a joke. When we make fun of Mike Israetel, we're having a good time. After all, he carries 20 excess pounds of body water.
Like all I feel is rage.
Wow, it's so great to see you together. I actually thought you had a beef. I didn't know you liked each other. And so Mike would respond with,
come here. I hate him.
I am not kidding. And so Mike hates me immensely. His hate for me is so strong that he would actually lie about how much other people hate me. Literally. He's telling me, you know this person that says that they like you? I'm not going to name names. Well, they don't like you. They actually hate you. They just say they like you because, well, money, this, that, and so on. And so let it be known, this is not some make-believe beef. This
is serious. On day one, we're recording for a video with Jesse James West, with several other people. We're on a team.
And he's continuing to talk smack. Remember, we're on the same team. But of course, this is fine. I expect it. Remember, I've made a lot of videos making fun of Mike Israetel and so on. But by the end of the day, you would think, let's bygones be bygones. Let's move on from this. There's nothing that could be further from the truth. And so, attending the Gymshark event, Mike approached me with, I believe it was his cameraman, and continues to berate me for what was probably about 90 minutes. Many famous influencers coming to talk, younger influencers and so on, wanting photos, people asking me to record videos, but Mike, he wanted to yap. And yap, he did. And so the truth is, Mike simply hates me. He doesn't like the fact that I called him out for not winning his pro card, for not being lean enough, that even with the proper tan, he wouldn't have won the competition. He says, no, I probably only would have moved up 1 or 2 spaces. You didn't get it right. He doesn't watch my videos. I spent 20 minutes explaining to him that I don't actually tell people that I'm a doctor. He still believed that. And to spend another 20 minutes along with my brother, editor Steve, to tell him that we've been vindicated. He didn't know that he thought that I was continuing to scam influencers, that I would sell anything. Sawdust, I would sell them anything. He didn't want to believe it. He said, no, you're making that up.
The Turk voter that we've already talked about in matches.
Really like me? They're just doing it for clout. No one could like me. That the entirety of the fitness industry, you helped me to lose weight. And so I get the complete opposite. I tell somebody the truth. Hey, you need to diet an extra 6 weeks. Your physique needs to get lighter. You need to go into the light heavyweight division. They're not going to want to hear that. But what I do is I speak the truth. And so Mike refused to believe that the Turk Max was actually inside of it what we were claiming. We have the receipts. No, you're selling snake oil, money back guarantee, and a $20 gift card. And I explained to him, did you not know that Turk Plex was scamming people? That it's coming from China. I explained to him in detail everything. Refused to believe it. Had no thought that it could be possible. But remember, when you hate someone that much, when you hate a person...
You look down. You probably need some pussy. Ladies in chat, throw your kitties at our Lord and Savior. Thee then now put the cat down. That's not what I meant. I meant the kind that doesn't cough up fur balls. Anywho, go shoot up the club's sugar walls.
I'm just a little tired. That's it. I've actually been able to get sleep, which is good. But my appetite has not come back. But thanks for the donation, Pussy Goes Queef.
As much as Mike Israetel hates me, you're blinded by the evidence. And so I don't think anything could convince Mike that I'm not a sociopath. And so when he says, oh, this other guy says you're a sociopath, and I'm like, Mike, I don't need to hear it. And so when I say, yeah, the beef between me and this individual, it's actually squashed, and I have to have a message saying, hey, the beef is squashed before GTA 6 in detail, writing, talking to the guy, and so on, he refused to believe it. Show me the message. Show me it. I want to see it. I'm like, Mike, I'm not going to show you private messages that I've had with other YouTubers.
Show me it. I don't believe you.
Mike, you don't need to believe me. You can go and ask that individual. And so essentially his goal was to dim my light. If I go and talk to Coach Greg, call him an asshole, call him names, say everyone hates you, despises you, thinks you're a joke, thinks you're a sociopath, then you'll go from feeling really good to feeling really bad. Mike, it doesn't work. I'm not like you. I actually like myself. I have a lot of confidence. I love my life. I'm the happiest I've ever been. And I don't need anything else to be happy. And for some reason, you are so devastated by the people in your comment section. I get negative comments all along. You're a snake oil salesman. You're a 5'6" manlet. No woman would ever want to be with you. The only way you can get a woman is if it's an escort. You can keep saying what you want. You really think that's going to affect me? I told him this. Oh, I don't believe you. I see you doom scrolling, you're reading comments, you're commenting to people. I do it for the engagement. I literally pin the worst comments. I'm trying to get more people to engage in my videos. And so, for example, when Togi said in a video, you want half the people to like you, half the people to hate you. That brings about the most engagement. The people can go back and forth. And so what I like to do is I like to be polar. 79! I like to say my opinion, and I like to...
This 15-year-old kid he hired to edit his videos is fucking annoying.
Greg, Eric, Jerry is that strong. Guy can bench press over 500 pounds. It's incredible. Wide shoulders, small waist. Great genetics for bodybuilding. Eric Janicki, he's just a tank. He's a monster. He has so much muscle. It's unbelievable. Ian Valair, he made the Olympia. And even Coach Greg, although smaller than these guys, I still believe I have really good genetics. I did, in fact, earn an IFBB Pro card. Now, Mike, he has very great quads. He has a lot of muscle, a lot of density, and his legs are actually lean. He has way more size than average, even more than most people who are abusing performance-enhancing drugs the way that he is. And I realize that being on these drugs, it does in fact alter your mind. Remember, Dr. Mike himself said, all he feels is rage.
Like all I feel is rage.
And so when you're on steroids, it's hard to be your normal self. And so perhaps if he was 100% natural, perhaps he could have had a normal conversation with Coach Greg and not had all that hate than me. Do you really think he needs to be 35 pounds bigger than me to win a bodybuilding competition? I literally competed as a pro. The heaviest I've ever been at a weigh-in, 195. Mike should drop down to 198. Not only that, he should diet harder. If I were coaching Mike, he would do significantly better. Well, that's if he actually listened to me. And so perhaps if he were to use my cookbook or...
Why would he even hire a 15-year-old to edit his videos? That's child labor.
I don't know if he's literally 15, but it looks like it's a pretty young kid. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Get a freaking chef. As you know, Coach, so I treat her nice. And so, Mike, you can get a private chef. It is going to help you. Even Togi has a private chef. Hella Mark Harley. He carries 30 pounds of water in his obliques. He can't help it. Mark, it was 20. Let's not exaggerate. Let's be accurate in our statements.
I have like big love handles that store a lot of water from back when I got...
Mike carries 20 extra pounds of water from having bulked to 270 back in the day when he was natural. I might have looked for half a second that time.
Are you okay?
No. His words, not mine. Nope. Photoshop, I don't buy it. I mean, wait a sec. Do you really think Greg is expecting us to believe it's true? I think he has hope that we can see it as that it's trolling. But if I'm wrong, then I would be very happy to see that video. And so, Ian Valair comments, it's true, I was there.
Hi Richard, my name is Joe Linton. I like Greg Doucette and his editing abilities. I have also taken Turk Builder and it really works well. Also, Justin B is very cool and knows what he is talking about. Thanks.
Well, that's good. Glad to hear it. Thanks for the donation, Julington.
LOL. And so there you have it, guy. It's not AI. This actually took place. It actually went down. And not just one day, but two. And so one thing that really stuck in my mind that Mike Israetel told me is that he really can't stand that many people come from my channel and go onto his channel, whether it's Instagram or YouTube, and they write comments in the comments section. They'll write things like, bro, you didn't lose because of your tan. Or you're not carrying 20 pounds of body water, you're actually not lean enough. Or, bro, that ain't no 6% body fat. We discussed the validity or lack thereof of the DEXA scan, of which Mike thinks it's very accurate, and I tried to explain to him that it's not, but hey, that's a difference of opinion, and that's okay. But one thing I said to Mike is, you can't care so much about the comments of other people. What is more important? How you feel about yourself, or how other people are trying to make you feel?
Bootycam donate tellers, that wasn't me, I know you know that, but I just wanted to say also, fuck you, Justin B, bitch. Okay, thanks for the donation, Bootycam. Egaves, donate tellers, I can send you this because you're tired and it will help you fall asleep.
Doing the big...
Yeah, I don't think so. Thanks for the donation, dude.
You get to choose that. And so if bro from Bangladesh writes, Mike, you are fat. You have a horrible tan. Are you really going to let that bother you?
I'll read a comment when I'm on Plenty of Shit, and it's, as usual, a highly disrespectful comment on Instagram, and I fantasize about meeting that person in real life, walking up to them in the gym way too close to their face and like, say something, just say it, and watch them cower and just relish as they cower, and then as they cower away, hurt them physically so that everyone can see them and eat their organs. These are thoughts that I have, like, daily.
Remember, Mike has butlers with Lambos that he bought for them. He's a multi-millionaire, perhaps even more money than Coach Greg. I don't know if it's true or it's even possible, but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and assume that he's a multi-millionaire. Money beyond his wildest dreams. He's got over 3 million followers on YouTube. That's more than Coach Greg. How can he care about the comment section? Let me ask you this. If you made $10 million a year, or let's lower that. Let's say it's even only 1 million. Imagine him only making $1 million. There's no way it's not closer to 10, 20. Would you really care about people trying to put you down in some comment section?
Like, I just really want to know what the point of that is. Is there a fucking reason some stupid random loud ass noise has to interrupt the fucking video? That has no context, inexplicable, and is just annoying. Like, what does that do for the watchability of the video? What is his editor doing?
Can we react to this?
If I seem a bit angry today, a bit...
Joy Reid fired from MSNBC. Is that black chick? I don't think I really care about Matt Walsh talking about Joy Reid. So, no. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Bro from Bangladesh, some 16-year-old kid, 25-year-old, that's trying to dim your light to make fun of your physique. Oh, you have a GH gut. You don't have a proper Gatorade. You're a manlet. How could you let insignificant sheep affect you when you're a lion?
Move out, you Richardo. What's that? Is that Jasmine slurping on my cock? Oh god, I'm gonna come. How does it feel to have a real nigga with you now, Jasmine? Now come up and ride my dick. Also VG, you can watch it and then come all over my ass. Yeah.
Alright, thanks for the donation, Justin.
Really? Mike? You don't watch my videos? Perhaps you should watch this one. How can you let these insignificant people who have no value to your life, they've never talked to you, never spoken to you, you don't even know them, how can you give them your power? That's what you're doing when you allow somebody to live rent-free in your head. A comment. You have the power to choose. You don't need to give two shits about what they're saying. They can laugh at you, they can make fun of you, they can try to put you down, but you don't let it. A secure, confident man, that's what they would do. I do believe that you're 40. Are you really going to let these kids affect you in that manner? But let's add to that. How are you going to let Coach Greg affect you? I'm just a chill. I make some jokes. I poke fun at you. Bro doesn't have a proper temper. Insert.
So bad.
45 videos making fun of me that somehow my shine would be gone. Do you really think my oil would be deteriorated?
Matt Walsh, a racist, crying over the cancellation of Anthe racist. What a surprise.
I think the only reason he really made a video about it is because she's black. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
How? Like, it baffles me that you can let one human being affect you to that extent. Now, if it was your significant other, if I was your lover, your boyfriend, and I was doing that, well, dump the guy. Don't listen to him. Walk away. And so, if you see a video from me or a comment from somebody who watched a video from me, walk away. Don't read it. You don't have to read your comments. You can move on. Oh, they're making fun of me. Yep, I'm not going to look. Oh, a new Greg Doucette video is probably going to make fun of me. Don't watch it. Move on. And so if you were truly confident, truly happy, content, satisfied, if you could practice gratitude, would you not be happier? You're listening to the voices inside your head telling you that you're not good enough, that you need to do better, that you'll never be enough. When is enough enough? How much money do you need to make? How many shows would you have to win? How many likes on that photo would you need to be satisfied? And bro, what's with this? Like, is this what comedy has to be now in 2025? You have to be bent over with some guy about to peg you like Peg Watson? And what are you doing with your mouth? I mean, are you a throat goat? And so unfortunately, Mepsigram had to attend the eye surgery conference. She couldn't attend Gymshark on day one. She made it to day two. And so she sends me a photo of that. Says, what is this? Why are we doing this? Why do we have to resort to homoerotic verbiage in order to get people to like our videos? 60,000 likes, but why? Why must we do this? I mean, can Dr. Mike not just be Dr. Mike, the smart guy? Does he really need to resort to so many homosexual jokes? Now, listen, he has the right to do what he wants. If he wants to make homosexual jokes, he can. But I think his channel would be better with fewer of them. You know, a la Will Tennyson style. Will Tennyson jokes around a little bit every now and then. I don't think it's too much. Mike, it's so much. Why are we doing this? And so is it possible, just a little bit, that Mike perhaps likes Coach Greg maybe a little bit too much? You know, when you were younger, you're perhaps 13, maybe 14 years of age, and you treated that girl that you liked really brutally, you weren't as nice to her, and it was because you liked her? Is this perhaps the problem? Is Coach Greg Mike Israeltel's fantasy so envious? Does he perhaps envy my physique? Or is it my glorious tan? Look at this tan, Mike. It's not a spray tan. I even put sunscreen on my body. Unfortunately, you never put sunscreen on that day, and there was very serious burns. Remember, I'm not a fan of people not putting on sunscreen. Take care of your skin. I do believe that sunburns can cause skin cancer in the future, and so please be careful. Add to having the sun damage, the abuse of... Met up with Mike Thurston, Mr. Delicious himself. We did a podcast, we trained together, and he told me, Coach Greg, I'm not gay. I'm not. But what about Mike Israetel? Is it possible? I mean, but what I can promise you is Mike hates Coach Greg. Do I hate him back? No. I asked him, is there any way we can squash the beef? Can we end this? No, there isn't. I want everyone to know that I hate you. I'm like, alrighty then. I mean, what am I to do? I asked, Okay, it's been an hour and a half. We kind of need to move on. There's people that want to talk to me. I'm here at a Gymshark event. What would you want to end this on? I just want to know that I made you uncomfortable. All right, it was uncomfortable. I did my job. And so he left. And so there you have it. That was my encounter with Dr. Mike. He never resorted to physical violence. I did not expect that he would. Remember, there's thousands of spectators. Remember, at this stage in his career,
Yeah, Greg is kind of mogging Mike Israetel.
I don't think that Dr. Mike is going to resort to this. I think that he's too smart to know that that would not look good on him. And so one final point I'd like to suggest to Dr. Mike is to get off the steroids and to switch to Turk Max and
Yeah, well, that would be better than the steroids he's on.
Now, where do they go? Where do the Jews go once you free Palestine?
Where they came from? Look at from.
Whoa, where did they come from?
OMG VG, I've had a terrible day. I got dumped last night. I've been a little depressed, so took the day off and went to buy vegan tacos and a milkshake. On the bright side, I will have more spending money for myself. How are you?
I'm fine. My sleep seems to have returned to normal. It's just my appetite is still super, super depressed, and I can barely eat, and I'm losing weight very rapidly. And I'm kind of fainting and stuff, but aside from that, doing fine. Thanks for the donation, dude.
Okay, welcome back to Manchester. A tragedy struck the city centre yesterday. A tram, much like the one behind me, was travelling along Mosley Street, and there are intersections where private cars can go through. A van decided to go hit the tram, and he veered onto the pavement and ended up killing a 3-year-old girl. We send our condolences to the family of that 3-year-old girl, and that is a horrible tragedy. And we're going to go into the city centre. There's a few other things that happened, but this is the big horrible story, and you won't believe this. The van driver, the man, ran away. Killed a little girl. Whether it's his fault or not, he ran away. Okay, we're finishing here at Deansgate Castlefield because the fatal crash means that the city centre is closed for trams for the time being. Okay, we're on Deansgate, and it seems like a bunch of barristers in wigs. Here's looking at you, Daniel, black belt barrister. What have we got? FFP court case champions. Love the law. Well, hey! How's it going? Give me a quick soundbite. Why are you here? What? Of course I can. Of course I can, mate. What do you mean I can't do it? Of course I can. No, whoa. Dude, public footpath. Public, you guys need to calm down. Lawyers, help me out. I'm in the public street. I can film. Yes, I can. Guys, why are you here?
React to some of the videos on this playlist.
Allowed to refuse service? So I'm gonna tell the owner you're fucking losing money because we want to make a big order of food. Give me the fucking chicken or I'm gonna cause a scene. Get your owner here.
Cause a scene? You're recording.
You're gonna lose money and get fired. We ordered food and you wanna refuse it.
Look at you. You're telling me you're not being rude? No, we weren't.
Fuck you! Give me my chicken. I came 30 miles to get a fucking chicken.
Fuck your chicken.
Kiss my ass and call your fucking owner, bitch. You like Google reviews? I'll come here right now, motherfucker.
Come on, bro. You wild.
You're getting fired. Give me my chicken. I drove 30 miles to get my fucking chicken.
Fucking crazy white people, bro.
Nah, you just brown as fuck. That's why you working in McDonald's, bitch, because your IQ doesn't let you do shit except work.
Give me my fucking chicken. I came here to eat. 30 miles.
Here on a fucking Saturday night, 9:30, about to sneak into Millennium, had to hit a workout first. Today I told myself, I'm gonna sneak in.
You want to resell it?
Yes, sir. No, I'm gonna go in there. Thank you, my friend. It's okay. Yeah, I scanned it.
Re-enter.
Oh, okay.
You can't re-enter.
Are you single? Are you single? Hey, yo, are you single? Hey, do you have a boyfriend? Huh? Yeah. I go by looks. You look good. Girlfriend? Look at how hot the girl is. Hey, can you be my girlfriend, though? Maybe if I get to know you. Alright, you want my slap? Hey, this girl said she's gonna yell at me. Do it.
BTW Trump responded to Reed's firing by calling her an obnoxious racist bitch who should have been canned a long time ago. This is coming from the guy who once said if blacks don't like this country they should go back to Africa.
Well, you know, what are you gonna do? That's just how it goes. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. Dodo Donate tell us how it started. Vote against genocide. Joan, Killer, Kamala, how it's going.
Donald's coming to set you free, bringing the light for all to see. No more tunnels, no more fear. Trump Gaza is finally here. Trump Gaza shining bright, golden future, a brand new light. Feast and dance, the deal is done. Trump Gaza #1. Trump Gaza shining bright, golden future, a brand new light.
I mean, Trump Gaza would probably be better than Hamas Gaza. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Yo. 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 She said she's gonna yell at me. Yo. This girl says she just wanna be my girlfriend. Excuse me, I think you're hot. Are you cool? What's up? Why doesn't she want, like, no girls want me? I'm so confused. Since you don't have a boyfriend, can I just be your boyfriend then? So, oh, like, do you think I'm hot? You don't think I'm sexy?
Yes, she's a boyfriend.
She has a boyfriend? Yeah. Troll. Yes. Who's my girlfriend? Tonight, I think I want one of you guys. Yes. Who wants to sleep with me? Who wants to sleep with me? Somebody. We're gonna have a massage. No, you got it. Oh, you're a yummy one, like Alex, you know, fucking Trippy Red's ex-girlfriend.
Oh, thank you.
Can I give you a hug? You're so sexy. I'll grab ya. Let me grab you. I want a kiss. You want a kiss? Come on, babe. Hey, can you like cheer me up on sissy goth, sad like fuck boy piece of shit? Like I don't know, like I feel like if I can hang out with you, it'd probably make me feel better for a little bit. Totally validating. You got a BF? No. Shut up. You got sugar daddies. No way. Can we hang out at you have a house in it? I'll hang out with you. I don't know if you want to. No. Why not? I'm down to hang out though. Like, I could give you a ride. Why not? Like, you don't want like affection? Come on. Can I be one of your rebounds?
I don't do
Not a rebound that like, I could just come over and like you could just talk to me about everything. I'll just sit there and listen. I'll literally waste my time and just sit next to you just 24/7 basically.
I bet there's a girl on the street.
I fucking doubt it. How's your Tinder? You get I know girls like me on Tinder.
I got that. It's not true.
Yeah. It should work now. But yeah, I've been hitting the gym like every fucking day, so a girl like this. So a girl like this would like me. Specifically. Do you live in Vegas?
Nope.
What the fuck? Where you live? Where you live?
I live in Myrtle Beach. Sorry, it's my life actually.
What is the fuck? I'm not that.
We are.
Well, I'm gay now. Can we have a fun time? I'm a sissy. I'm a sissy boy. I'm a tranny.
No, that's not
I'm a sissy fag gay tranny.
No.
I'm gay boy.
No, definitely not.
Can I hang out in your hotel room or what? Like I'm down.
She's in my apartment.
You guys have an apartment out here? I thought you don't live out here.
I do.
Okay. I like you too. You're pretty hot. Like I would definitely we'll hang out and then.
Bro, I'm not about to be a third, fourth choice.
Not really. You could be the first one. I just didn't know. You just look fake. Like my friends tell me stop shitting so low. I gotta get hot. Did you not go to college? One day. Why not? What's wrong? Why do you not? Why are you looking at? You don't think I'm sexy? Fucking way, bro. It's Food God, bro. What's up, bro? Hey, it's Andrew Weitzman, bro. Holy.
No, I'm not.
Oh shit. I
One of my friends. Okay, you can have them. I gotta figure out my dinners.
Okay. Oh wow. All right. Hey, what's up? You wanna just like? Oh my god. You guys look famous. The fuck? Holy shit. Instagram models.
Instagram models?
Yes. I knew it. You guys look fucking sick. Snapchat. Yes, sir.
TikTok, binary fish.
Okay, got you. What's your Insta? Fuck. What's up? Where are you guys going? Hey, you fitness model or what? You? Where you guys live? Who's that guy?
Vallejo, but we're trying to go. Sorry, we gotta catch up with Bert.
Let me hang out with ya. The reason for this is adding drama, conflict, tension, mystery, and intrigue to your life.
Okay, this guy's an obnoxious retard.
Yeah, don't mess with a famous YouTuber. He knows. Don't mess with a famous YouTuber. Hey, man, you okay? Thank you, sir. You got good taste. Whatever you're doing, one of my best friends is a barrister, so I support you. You know, yeah, why not? No, mate. Oh, sorry, you guys doing a take? Oh, yeah. But some advice. Don't tell people in public how to act. Yeah. I accept your apologies. I understand. Yeah, of course you can. Yeah. I'll respect that. Yeah. No worries, man. All the best. Yeah, cheers. I get it. They're doing a take thing, so I won't be too much of a whatever I am. Photon enthusiast, photon extremist, photon radical. Oh wait, hold on a second. I have a horrible feeling it's something to do with gambling. Uh-oh, what am I promoting? They're not even barristers, are they? If I'd known it was Uber.
Dodo, don't I tell others that maybe these Hamas supporters are still such scum nonetheless? Well, yeah, they are. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Since my last video, there's been 2 more serious jihadi stabbing attacks in Europe. One in France and one in Germany. They're daily now, and I understand the Germans have gone to the election polls today. Oh, to the ballot box, am I getting my terms right? They've gone to the ballot box to vote, and the right-wing party AfD may do well, because I think the Germans are feeling very Ausländer Rau. Okay, turns out I was wrong. There are some trams coming to the city centre. We're on St. Peter Square, and despite the court order saying that they are to be evicted, the Manchester favela continues. And the 3rd row has arrived. Can't wait for the 4th row, the 5th row. I can't wait till this entire square is a refugee camp. Then, you know, that'll be that'll keep the wokies and the lefties happy. Well, maybe turn all of Manchester into a refugee camp. You know, it'll be amazing. Good for the tourists. Good for the people. Good for crime. Good for people's hopes and dreams. It's crazy. Here's the Manchester Art Gallery, and we're on Mosley Street, where the terrible accident took place yesterday. Actually, probably better to call it an incident. We don't know anything about it because the man that was driving the van that subsequently hit and killed the 3-year-old girl, as I said earlier, he's run away. And he is probably the most wanted man in Britain right now. What are the reasons that he maybe ran away? Okay, let's start from the most innocent. He panicked. It was all too much. He had a sensitive mental disposition, and it was all too much, and he panicked and he ran away. That's, hey, mate. That's one option. Second option, he was drunk. He knew that the punishment would be more, so he ran away to sober up. Third option, he was on narcotics. He knew that the punishment would be more, so he went away to sober up. Fourth option, something about him was illegal. Either his immigration status, he had no license, he might have been disqualified from driving, he might have had no insurance. Now, on all those examples, nothing justifies running away after you've killed a little girl. Of course, when he ran away, he knew he would have known that she was seriously injured, very injured. She subsequently passed away in the hospital not long after. And it's a level of cowardice that really hits home just how horrible some humans can be. And we know this from the major news out of the Middle East in the last day or two. Turns out the Bebas boys and their mother, the Bebas boys anyway, I don't think they've done the post-mortem forensic examination, but it turns out that Hamas people, Hamas monsters, murdered the 2 babies, the 2 ginger babies, Ariel and Kafir. Kafir translates as lion cub into English. Ariel and Kafir strangled with bare hands, and their tiny little corpses mutilated to make it look like an Israeli strike. Now, that's perhaps the most demonic thing I've heard in a long time. Along here, there's many side streets, and I don't want to be morbid and go to the exact scene, but the van probably pulled out of one of these side streets when he did not have a so I'm sure he can handle himself if he gets in a scuffle. Now, what I think happened here at the big bronze statue of Queen Victoria, a big woman, is that some lefty, pro-Palestinian, pro-Hamas commie started writing something, no fascists in Manchester, no bigotry, no hatred, no whatever, no police, and maybe they got interfered with or seen by the police or by the very right-wing bigots that we're told are going to destroy everything. Maybe it was a right-wing bigot that prevented the continued desecration of perhaps England's greatest monarch. Oh, imagine living back in the Victorian era. Oh my God, how good it would have been. Unless you were poor. Being poor in the Victorian era, not so good.
private citizens to get so involved in politics. We were meant to be in Fukuyama's post-history phase. History ended. We're all meant to just be concentrating on our own private endeavors, knowing that there is a nice company, managerial company running the country to the best for everyone. But no, you know it's trouble when it's like Scorsese's Gangs of New York back on the streets. Nation Charlie, remember the no on Victoria? Well, here's the same handwriting, no lies. No lies. So whoever was writing no lies got interrupted. But what is this? Is it an album? No lies, out soon. Where are you going, cop man? So no lies, out soon. What is it, an album? Looks a bit like Guns N' Roses Lies. Hello. Hey, it's my favorite thing talking to myself. How are you? Good. Good to see you. Yeah, I missed all the chaos yesterday. Did you catch it? It's filming. But you don't mind if I... I'll switch it off, All right, tell me a quick one about yesterday. Did you see it?
No, I missed it. Yeah, bastard. You watched that thing on Moses Street, the accident?
Yeah, what a tragedy. They've not caught the guy yet. He's run away.
He might be a Chinese delivery man.
Chinese delivery man?
Could be, yeah, because he was all down there delivering there yesterday. I was in Chinatown at the same time yesterday.
Okay, well, for now we'll blame the Chinaman.
Well, no, we've got to blame the person that's run away, haven't we?
Yeah, but you think he might be a Chinaman?
Oh, I think so. Chinese delivery.
Well, fair enough, yeah.
Who knows?
Who knows? I hope they get him soon because his parents must not be feeling very good right now.
Well, the parents, so...
They must have been with the kid. But these things happen so quickly, we can't blame the parents. I mean, we don't know any details. Right, I'm going to follow these cars because there's a lot of police activity.
So what happened yesterday over there?
The UKIP had a rally and then the lefties came in.
Holy shit! Holy shit! Holy shit! Refugees are welcome here! 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 Refugees are welcome here!
Filming from Market Street, tram stop onto Market Street, and that is a fine place to park your free Burnham bike. Burnham being the mayor.
We put the racism on the byway, the police directed them You put them into the bus lane. If they don't move, they'll go home. You directed them into the bus lane. The police directed them into the bus lane. If you make them go home, we'll leave. You put us into this position. Up our street!
And I know you've heard it a million times before, but since the peace treaty signed with David Rams, one of the chief vegans, a few years back, the ceasefire has held. And so they get to do their vegan campaigning without any beach molestation. Do I regret it? No, I think a bad peace is better than any good war. Turns out you watch 3 minutes of their campaign video and you win a free Krispy Kreme donut.
Follow your leader!
Come down the bottom of Market Street and the Jewish contingency are here with a beautiful memorial. Hello. Oh, how are you? Sorry. Yeah.
150 people here.
That's excellent. Yeah. I know. I've been in London.
I saw you on that, I saw it.
Yeah.
We've got a human yellow ribbon in the centre.
Oh, brilliant.
This isn't very yellow, but we've got it. Yeah, but we will.
Yeah.
Can I tell Tony? Yeah, definitely. On Thursday, we're going to have a yellow ribbon outside the BBC.
Yeah.
A massive one outside the BBC.
No, that's great.
Everyone's going to wear a yellow poncho,
how are you,
a yellow
Rafi?
T-shirt.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you're here because this is interesting. Am I being recorded, by the way?
You are. Is it okay?
That's okay.
I don't need to use the clip if you don't. If you prefer.
No, listen, it's absolutely cool. It's absolutely cool. So, well, what we're doing today is, as you can see,
we're remembering Kafir and Ariel and Shiri.
These are the children that were murdered. They were murdered and
bare hands.
But with bare hands.
It's disgusting. It's the most demonic thing I've ever heard in my life.
They strangled them to death.
Yep.
These children.
Yep.
Then pretended that they'd been
mutilated.
Israeli. They mutilated them to pretend that they had been murdered, but they'd been killed by Hamas terrorists. And we are remembering the short life of this family. It's just utterly tragic.
It's the most outrageous thing I've ever heard in my entire life. It's
even the Nazis in the war. Didn't do that. They put them in the gas. They put us in the gas chambers. But they didn't, commit the monstrous things that Hamas did. It's like it's beyond human comprehension.
It's an outrage. It's an outrage.
Nazis were bigger numbers.
Don't break my jaw. Come on, you big hard man. Don't break my jaw.
What are you saying to the people mourning the babies in Israel, mate?
They've got full tight. You're going to hold tight.
Oh, no need for swearing. They're just mourning the murder of 2 babies, mate. What, are you threatening me, mate? I think you need to control your emotions and maybe not believe all the propaganda about Hamas, mate. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
You told me this is a Jewish shop?
Yeah, dude, it's a Jewish shop. So Mr. Marx was Jewish. Did you know that? Anyway, our friend, I got to the conversation when he threatened to effing break a Jewish man's jaw. Now, the question is, why did he feel it was appropriate to threaten violence at a memorial to 2 murdered babies? So I'm here with a fellow YouTuber, Xander, and
by the way, Mark Spencer, it's a Jewish shop.
That's a Jewish shop, mate.
Break my jaw.
It's got to keep it out of context. It's just because he said Muslims were raping. As soon as I've heard
Can you apologise online?
Okay.
I apologise, but don't put it on the internet.
Well, it would
Why?
be on the internet.
No, you can't.
No, we can't.
It's a public street.
Don't need
He's come and apologised.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Okay, apology is accepted. Yeah, thank you. That's okay. Fair enough. Now, Yarden was released a couple of weeks ago, and there he is holding Kafir, the little teddy bear, and there's no words. There's just no way to even comprehend the darkness. It's an update with the tragedy of the 3-year-old girl killed by the driver of a van. As of 2:15 right now, on Sunday, the police still have not found what is perhaps the most wanted man in England. We got them. There they are, giving abuse to the...
Shame on you! Shame on you! Shame on you! Shame on you!
Shame on you! Whole world!
You support the people who this baby. That's freedom. Why did you kill
You all them, to our children, to our families, and killed us, and raped us, and burnt us.
These people are like, there's a memorial for children that were fucking murdered. And these people have to go and harass like the Jewish community and say, oh, free Palestine. Like, you know exactly what they're doing. They just want to kill Jews. It's all they're interested in. These people are literal Nazis, and they support the murder of like even babies so long as they're Jewish.
Let's not forget, the Jewish people here are mourning 2 murdered babies. What kind of people give abuse to a mourning gathering? No wonder the people are passionate. They just can't let it go. Whoa, who's fighting? What's this horrible woman doing?
I'm a legal observer. I'm a legal observer. Move on. Move on. Move on. No, I'm talking you. Guys, we need to talk to each other rather than shouting at each other. Well, honestly, shouting at each other isn't going to get Racist! Let's remember what it is today. Come on, it's about the babies today, not this threat. Just ignore the threat. Where do you want me to start?
Look, the only good Israeli is a dead Israeli. Whoa, you just said that. I got that on video. The only good Israeli is a dead Israeli, he said. He said the only good Israeli is a dead Israeli, the big boy. Can you say that again? Say it again, mate. Say what's the only good Israeli?
I would say one that isn't a Zionist. Big boy. Big boy. What can you say about Israelis?
He said the only good Israeli is a dead Israeli.
I'm insulting the idea. Come on. Shut up. And these Israelis.
Why are you harassing the baby more?
It's exactly what I told you. They're literally mourning babies that were murdered by terrorists. And then this guy's like, oh yeah, that's a good thing. They're Israeli. They're Jewish. So yeah, murder them. It's what they all want to say. They're all just Nazi anti-Semites who want to kill Jews.
Foreigners, mate. They're here for a dead baby. A dead baby and a dead toddler. Why are you harassing them, mate? And what about you, madam? Why are you shouting at the Jews? There's no occupation.
Propaganda at the best. Propaganda at the best. The Jews. Propaganda at its best. End the occupation.
I'm going to go to the police. That's twice you've assaulted me there. You tried to smash the camera. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to get you reported now. Anyway, ladies, you're going to like seeing on YouTube later, attacking the Jewish people who lost their 2 babies. Madam, you are 83% pure hatred, 17% stupidity. You're going to grab my camera again. You're going to grab my camera again. You're not Jewish. So I can't be friends with the Jews, can I? She's like, you're not Jewish. What does that even matter? I'm a human being, you horrible monster. You're a monster, madam. You mean like Hamas took the lives of those 2 babies? Is that what you mean? You ladies are going to regret this. Once the emotions come down, you're going to regret being on my video. You will. You will regret this.
End the occupation. Freedom for all.
I'm just glad your husband's let you speak. That's cool. Does your husband know you're here? Misogyny? You mean like Hamas raping and killing babies in the kibbutzes? Now you are tacitly supporting baby murderers. You are supporting baby murderers. And I'm going to speak to the police about you for trying to grab my camera twice. Yeah. You are Hamas hags. Bye-bye, Hamas hags. Why are you shouting Free Palestine at the Jews? They're here about the mourning babies. They're here because of murdered babies. Why are you shouting Free Palestine at the Jews? Why would you do that? Why can't you let Jewish people mourn their babies? They're literally strangled with bare hands, little ginger babies. Do you care? Or do you just want to make Jewish people feel bad? You want to make Jewish people feel bad? Oh, but these are Manchester Jews. They're not in Israel. So why are you giving them abuse? Oh, you've just contradicted yourself. Okay. So there's people mourning dead babies and you scream support for their mortal terrorist enemies. So where are the Jews going to go? If you free Palestine, where do the Jews go? Where do the Jews go once you free Palestine? No, where do they go? Where do the Jews go once you free Palestine? Whoa, where did they come from? You mean like ancient Judea for 4,000 years? Anyway, can I get your names? Yes, because you're going to be on YouTube later. Maybe we can get some... I don't even need to give a final comment. They come to get you, Jenny. Top crime. There you go.
Again, not the first.
Oh, well, they are here. I don't know why.
Who else is in trouble? So just
Bring them home. Bring them home. Bring them home. Bring them home. Bring them home, indeed.
Bring them home. Bring them home.
Bring them home. Bring them home. Bring them home. Bring them home. Bring them home. Bring them home. Bring them home. Bring them home.
Trying to get the angle here to support my friends from the Jewish community here, who once again show the dramatic difference between the pro-Jewish crowd and the pro-Hamas crowd. Let's reverse the roles. Let's say this was a gathering of pro-Palestinians and a Jewish man walked past and said, "Free Palestine from Hamas." I don't think they would be as peaceful as this crowd. I really don't. So, I just want to say, most normal people, let's say you're part of some underground resistance movement, when your colleagues kidnap a mother with 2 little babies, most people will be like, you know what? Let's not take these 3. No. The babies, no. And most people also, when you see a bunch of people mourning the murder by bare hands of little babies, they're mourning, they're remembering them, flowers, remembrance. Most people wouldn't give abuse to people mourning the murder of babies. So I'm here with Ken. Hey, Ken, how are you?
Hello.
You're like a mixture of kind of hair metal band and Weird Al Yankovic.
Weird Al Yankovic is exactly what I'm going for.
I love it.
Yeah.
Big love.
Retard donated $2. Let me see. Trump posted this.
Donald's coming to set you free, bringing the light for all to see. No more tunnels, no more fear. Trump Gaza is finally here. Trump Gaza shining bright, golden future.
One of the few base takes from Trump. Thanks for the donation, retard.
And could you say hello to my viewers and thank them for watching?
Hello, all Charlie Beach viewers. Thank you for watching.
There's more clips, don't worry. This is not the final clip. Thank you.
So we're here where the 3-year-old girl lost her life. Well, she was killed by the driver of the van. Now, got a bit more information. He was coming from there, down here. Now, I think my viewers will agree with me that the stop sign is quite clear. There are no traffic lights, but it's not just this stop sign. There's really big ones as well. And in my opinion, not being a traffic collision expert, he was speeding. The tram was coming from here. This lane here, this closer lane, hit him and forced him at speed to pin a 3-year-old girl against this wall, killing her. And the Manchester people are dropping off their flowers because it's a tragedy and it's a disgusting thing to happen in the modern European city. Well, I think the takeaway from today's video is just how many hateful people are willing and happy publicly on video to abuse mourners, to abuse a vigil, and above all to abuse Jewish people. There's been a lot of death recently, and what can I say except maybe hold your children a bit closer today, tell them you love them, and remember, we all know, family and blood. There's nothing like family and blood. And so, look after yourselves. And in the world telling you that we're meaningless numbers on a computer screen, that life is meaningless, there's no meaning to the universe, people saying that kids are bad for the environment, to hell with all that. Go forth and multiply, have babies, repopulate this planet. The best thing that ever happened to me was becoming a father.
It's great to welcome.
Oh my god, no!
Yes.
God, no.
Oh, we're going that side. Yep. Nope. Yes.
Oh.
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 Oh. Yeah. Yes. Nice.
Oh my god, no.
Doom. That's the best.
Pedo.
Girlfriend Doomage.
Oh my god, no.
That looks retarded.
Yeah! Oh my god, it's so good. Look, you can take passengers in it. It's insane. Oh, wow. Yeah! Oh my. This is the craziest bike I've ever seen, and today we're going to be pushing it to the limit.
Oh, dude, that bike
This is the
sucks.
Revo Mobless bike, and it is super rare, with only 150 of them ever being built. The company also no longer exists. It's got a throttle here, and it's pedal assist, and as you can hear, it is so loud when it moves. It's got no hubs and it's running on some sort of bearing system there. Although it looks like a mountain bike, it certainly isn't. There's no suspension, it's an awful ride. The brakes suck, but we're going to be seeing how crazy we can get on it throughout this whole video. So let's go and get over to somewhere we can start some action off. First tests for this crazy looking bike are going to start here on this pump track. Let's get it then with the throttle. Oh yes. Oh, with the throttle it's sick. Oh, it's like too fast. Oh my God, it's too good. Wow, the throttle's the best. That is so cool. Oh, look, the lights are all flat. Oh, they're all flickering then. Look, this has actually got indicators built in. Is that working? Yeah. Look. Is that working? No, it doesn't work that other way. He's done me over, the guy I bought it off. And I said I'd send in the video. You're watching this knowing it doesn't indicate left, aren't you? Let's try and jump something. I'm too excited. All over the place. Yes! First jump on this beast. I'm still in the stages of fear at the moment, not knowing how strong it is, but we're able to clear that. And when you land heavily, the bike sort of cuts out the power to it, which is weird. It's working now, so I'm going to get a better run up, race of this, and then try and clear the next bigger one. Here we go, let's try and get it. Oh my God, look at that thing! Stop, I wanna... That's incredible! What is that?
I was going to say the same thing to you.
That's sick! Wow, you've just put all stuff on for... Oh, that's actually used to connect it, isn't it?
They both work together, yeah.
No way. I'll just do this jump and then we'll film you go around. That would be well good. Oh my God, I'm out of control completely. Oh no, I can't keep the speed. Oh no, the motor's all locked up. Oh no. That was an expensive attempt at trying to do something fun. Is that... Oh no. Yeah! Oh my God, he's in, look. Oh my God. Oh, that's... Yes, this guy's the best.
Dude, falling on that bike would suck.
That's
that guy should wear a helmet.
Okay, I can't keep the speed for them too big.
Yeah, bro, if you fall on that bike and land on your head, you're fucking dead, dude.
Bigger tables, but if I start over there, I might be able to get these two smaller ones in a row. Let's try that. Yes! There we go. The power kicked in a bit better then. Oh, look. It's all just shaking apart. Oh my God. Oh, that's just snapped right up. How's that so bad? It's all made of plastic. This seat isn't a dropper. It's actually a suspension seat, look. Well, funny. From the pump track, we just saw this stair set here. It's not crazy. On a normal bike would be easy, but it's a nice warm up for this thing. I think it's gonna rattle it to death. Let's drop in and see what happens. Drop in. First doomer on this thing. Oh my God, it's making so much noise. Oh, the brakes are stuck. Oh my God. What on earth? Destruction.
What the fuck,
I thought
dude?
stuff would happen, but not that drastically. Oh,
dude,
look,
that thing is such a piece of
indicator's
shit.
gonna have fell off. Please still work. Oh yeah, it is still working. In the wheel here are these
Wow,
funny
dude,
little
that thing
hooks.
sucks.
And that is actually a place that you can store a bag. Incredible. If it can fit a bag.
You should debate that guy from yesterday on should pornography be legal or not. Just for the lols. React.
Well, that'd be a pretty stupid debate. I don't know if
I've got
like literally everybody disagreed with him, and I'm not sure if he changed his mind. This guy is a lying, manipulative fraud. Just absolute retard.
Getting data to drop that are going to get you to rethink whether or not you want to have a Diet Coke ever again. In this study, using mice and monkeys, and they gave low-dose aspartame, the equivalent of 3 Diet Cokes per day, and showed that was sufficient to cause cardiovascular disease, the acceleration to build up a plaque in heart blood vessels. You can see it very clearly. You can see it here. And they found the mechanism had to do with the fact that aspartame increases insulin and insulin resistance. Aspartame and Diet Coke, 3 Diet Cokes per day, could cause cardiovascular disease.
Once again, Nick making ridiculous claims based on rubbish data. Times school. First of all, this is a study on ApoE double negative mice who genetically have impaired lipid metabolism. And they were fed a high-fat, high-cholesterol diet, and we wonder why they developed atherosclerosis. Secondly, the mechanism being cited as the reason for plaque building up in the arteries is that aspartame causes insulin release and insulin resistance. But research shows that the majority of animal experiments don't translate to human outcomes, so why are we assuming this mechanism occurs in humans? If only we had human evidence on aspartame's effect on insulin and insulin resistance. Oh, we do. This controlled human study gave healthy adults 3 Diet Cokes a day, the exact amount Nick is talking about, for 6 months. And there were no significant changes in insulin resistance or fasting plasma insulin. In fact, this meta-analysis of 36 clinical trials showed that none of the main low-calorie sweeteners increased postprandial glucose or insulin. Brilliant work, Nick, making sensationalized clickbait content and implying an animal study is sufficient to establish cause and effect.
Yeah, Nick Norwitz, he's been trying to just get attention online and become some, dipshit influencer. And he tries to act as though he's some sort of academic or something. The guy is just a complete fucking idiot fraud.
It's okay doing one set in HIIT training because you're on steroids. Well, all the pro bodybuilders are on steroids, but actually it's the reverse. What do steroids do? They enhance your recovery ability. So what most bodybuilders do, they're simply overtraining, but they're using steroids, so it's kind of, you can recover from something. Try to train 6 days a week and you're natural. I'm guaranteeing you're not going to grow, not for very long. You won't recover if you train 6 days a week and you're not taking steroids. That's what all the pros don't tell you. Did Dorian Yates take steroids and growth hormone? Yeah, absolutely I did. But I also had what I think is a more efficient training system. I'm not saying that training don't work, that Arnold did or somebody else, because obviously they build a great physique, but they could have done it quicker, more efficiently. If you're not taking steroids, you shouldn't be training more than 3 or 4 times a week for an hour each session. If you're focusing on...
I disagree with that. It's going to be... The amount you should train should be based on what you need to make progress, not just some arbitrary number. Some people are going to need to train more, some people are going to need to train less.
And you're going properly. Can some guys train a body part twice a week and recover? Apparently some guys can. They're using a lot of stuff. For me it was just once a week. So each body part once a week.
I don't think he knows too much about training, but yeah, like if you're on gear, you can leverage steroids to either train more because it helps you recover, or you can extend how much muscle you can grow from a single workout session, and you can either train more or less. Like the steroids really make it so training's practically irrelevant. You can just take gear and just do whatever fucking training you want. Thanks for the donation though, GG.
Huge paramotor, a custom mountain bike tandem. My brother Hello everyone, today I just bought this
there we are.
In there. I'm sure it can fit something way more exciting. Yeah! Oh my god, it's so good. Look, you can take passengers in it. It's insane. Oh, wow. So it has crazy good luggage capabilities, but how will it perform on the trails? Wow! Oh my god, it's slick down there. Whoa! Oh! Whoa!
Oh my god. Oh. This thing is such a massive piece of shit.
Not enjoying. was going along, look, all of this was coming off. The whole plastics. Oh my God, look, it's revealing what the frame looks like underneath. It's all coming apart. It's so funny. The battery was just hanging on for dear life. We're going to plug that back in, and we're not even going to get a full trail out of it. It's just rattling itself to death. But I want to get a slow-mo over that jump there. I think it could be cool, and I can get a run up from down there. Continue the music. Oh, again. Oh, its throttle's locked on. Look. Look. Motorcycle display team. Oh.
This thing is so terrible.
Oh, wow. This is the most fun ever. It's so bad, but so good. Okay, my oh, look at the cranks. They're really bent. They're hanging on though. What a machine. That's so funny. So incapable of riding stuff. I reckon we can. Let's go to the next spot. We'll tie the battery in there, so that's not going to fly out and hit me in the teeth, thus making me lose more of them. So I'm going to go. Scared the brakes don't really work, and this bike's just, oh my God. Yes. Oh my God, there's bits flying off all over the place. Oh. Yes.
And the battery fell out anyway.
So much fell off. The battery come out again. It is completely destroyed. All of the plastics, look, are hanging on for dear life now. So I think, wow, look, it's so cool. You can see all the motor and stuff in there. We should probably take the cranks off and all of this plastics and like make it look crazy with just the frame on show. We thought we'd do a scenic modification session to this bike. Oh, look, so easy. Whoa, look at that. That's actually quite sick. It looks way better without the plastic on. They don't look that bad. Whereas that, I think the actual whole spindle is bent, isn't it? Wow, that's so nuts how broken that is. Right, we don't need that. Imagine what people think. We're just in the middle of the street destroying this bike. Oh wow, that's crazy. Let's see if it still works then with all this gone. Oh no. So it is an analog bike now, not that it matters, it still works. Just got to use a bit of pedal power. We're going to finish off this little section with that huge doomer though.
Okay, dropping. There we go. Nice, bits flying off everywhere. Oh, the front wheel's going all weird. Oh, it's got all weird, Lou. Oh my God, it's so gnarly. That's horrible. I feel like the front wheel's gonna snap. Yes. Yes. Yes.
It's the third day of destruction for the Revo bike, but before we finish off that beast, pre-order for the get back on the Revo. Look at the state of it. It's actually unbelievable. What a heap. It is falling apart. The cranks are obviously so bent, but I think I might be able to get enough speed to clear this small mulch, and if that happens, too bad to go down. Here we go then, first attempt at doing a bigger jump on it. Oh my God, it's so bad. The gear runs out so quick. We now come over to this new section because I think this table's gonna have more speed. Oh, that is so hard for the speed. Oh my God, look at the crack. Come here immediately, look. You see how out of line they are from there? That's ridiculous. So when you pedal, you get taller as you go around because they're in like, it's so hard. I'm cut across into the blue, pump, cut into here. Such a heavy impact. We're gonna keep going though.
Dude, he's actually insane doing shit like this on that bike. Like, I'd be worried about it snapping in half and then breaking my neck.
Yes! In all up. Yes! We've reached the end. £1,300 done in 3 days of riding.
That is that has to be like the worst bike ever made.
This insane quad bicycle from AliExpress, and today we're going to be pushing it to the limit. While scrolling the exciting world of AliExpress, I came across this ridiculous fat-wheeled quad bicycle and I had to get it. It's the sickest thing ever. I built it last night and it feels pretty sturdy, and as you can see, it's got independent front suspension. On the front here you can see how the two wheels are turned using these strut braces, and then in the middle of the bike down here it's actually able to turn completely. It did come with double discs, but I haven't fitted them yet as we're just going to give it a try first with the rear brake, which is powerful enough to slow us down, enough not to die. The tyres, as you can see, are fat bike styled. This is a 20-inch rim with 4-inch wide tyres. I actually fitted an Ergon SC Core Prime saddle, nice and comfy for when I'm cruising around the streets, and I've also fitted some pill grips in lime green. Here we go then, first pedals on this thing. Oh my god, it's so sick. Look at that. Whoa! Yes! That is a proper, you can make it into a tricycle immediately, look. It has got the turning circle of a Boeing 747 though, look, it's so hard to get, it does get a bit of a turn going, it's not like a bike though. Right, so far this beast works and it rolls. The brake isn't that great, but it's time to move somewhere else and get a bit of speed up. Come on. We've come out to the classic test zone. Want to see how it performs at a bit of rolling speed, and then we'll blast, turn left and hopefully not end up in the road. Let's get it, Lou. First off-road test down this fairly steep hill. Get the speed up. Oh my god, this thing is epic. Whoa! Yo! Firing. That's well sick. We're at the classic. This stair set of doom, it's a triple doomer, 2 of the equal size, smaller at the bottom. My ultimate fear is that the back brake doesn't really work that well. Let's get it, quad bike on the doomer.
Like, why is he doing this if he doesn't even have proper brakes?
Oh my god, it's all wobbly and weird. Yes! It's pumped! That's unreal. That's so good. What a machine. Let's go and get more crazy tomorrow. Look at this. I think it looks so cool. Look, we got discs on each side now, running up to this like gyro thing. So we've got one lever actuating both front brakes there, and on the rear, because the brake was so bad, I actually decided to fit the Zhuin Tech hydraulic caliper. So we're going to start things off over there on the dual and see how it performs. We're now over on top of the dual slalom track and it's about to go down. Here we go. Dropping. Whoa! Oh my god, a bit of air. Whoa, that is so scary. Oh, this berm's tight. Oh, it's so hard because the whole frame turns. Oh my god, it's so cool. Whoa, bit of air. Sick.
That could be cool if it was motorized.
Day is going to be epic because I have another brand new Sur-Ron. This is the Sur-Ron Ultra B, and I know I did have one before, but this is a brand new one for this year, and it comes standard with a K-Tech rear shock on there. That is epic. This means huge sends. They're also working right now on making some front forks that will come standard with this model as well. But the K-Tech shock on the rear absolutely changes everything on this bike. And this is actually the first one in the world right now that is coming with that shock. But today we've come to this new quarry I've never been to. Loads of hill climbs, jumps and all sorts of fun to be had. There's also a few other guys coming on Surons and it's bound to get ridiculous. So let's get into it. Here we go then, straight into this hill climb. Oh, it's quite steep.
This is the bike they should have made in the beginning. The Surron's too small.
Up. Oh! Firing! Oh, it's free ride. Oh, this is a proper free ride section. Wow! Steep! So rad. You just go anywhere on these things. I wonder if you could go up that. Oh, almost. So this is Jake 100, all right, mate?
How's it going?
Saw this quarry on his vlog, messaged him, and here we are, Surroning. It's going to be the best.
Quarry, mate. Back at the quarry. I see you just going up this.
Well, yeah, struggling. But I think there's a jump there.
Oh, the little hip?
Yeah.
You're the jump man.
Oh, yeah. You probably go quite good on there. Oh, yeah.
You are at
Alright, thanks for the donation, dude. That was good.
Right, it's a bit of an insane hill climb there. Might be too much for this bike, but we'll only find out by trying it really, won't we? Wow! No way! That's actually well nice. Try it! Yeah!
I'm trying to go in the same way I left my house, mate.
On a bit of a lap now. Looking for jumps. Oh, it's like a trial section. Oh, this is a cool ridgeline actually. Oh! Oh, it's so muddy. That would be a cool little section actually at speed, and you can probably clear that puddle and then fly out of this.
Yeah, the Ultra View looks pretty sick.
Bit of a weird turn without any sort of... Ah! This is the puddle gap. Hello everyone, today is going to be epic because I have a brand new electric motocross bike. Behold, the Suron Storm V. Yes, it does look like my old one, but this is the brand new model. This is the first one in the UK. It has 104 volts. From standards, this has got a lot more power than the last one. And today I'm going to be testing it for the very first time in this epic quarry. This is so fresh, I literally just peeled off all the plastic and it's ready to get absolutely covered. Let's get in there and send it. Here we go, first ride then. If you didn't know, this thing has 3 power modes: sport, wet and eco. We're in sport straight away, most power. And it's time to launch. Wow. Yo. Oh my God, it is so wet down here. That feels unbelievable.
Yeah, I heard these are just a little too heavy.
Whoa! Easy on that thing. That was too easy. We got to find some more technical bits. Is that it there, the hill?
That looks very steep.
Oh, that's scary with that fog out bit. Oh, scary. I got it next go then. Oh, yeah. Whoa, that was huge. I dabbed, I wasn't fully enduro guy, not putting the feet down. Yes, pumped on that. So cool. I want to try this death steep. Oh, that is sick. Let's do it with the feet up to be like proper enduro. Ultra B, it's half the weight. Ugh.
Billionaires are the talk of the town right now. Voters put one of them in the White House, and the president's put another one down the hallway in the shape of Elon Musk, the world's richest man, who's charged with slashing billions in government waste.
Go yourself.
Did you know that since Donald Trump's election victory, Elon Musk's net worth increased by 69%, and that the top 10 billionaires gained $64 billion in just one day after the election?
That's a problem.
In America, the top 1% hold 32% of US wealth, while the bottom 50%, half, hold just 2.5%. Pretty wild, right?
A whole fleet of tech billionaires have kissed the Trump ring and bought the president's counsel in the process.
Recently, Piers Morgan featured a debate between Gary Stevenson and Dave Rubin, and it was, as is almost always the case with Pierce's program, a shit show.
You know, in this country, I'm talking to you right now, half the country struggles to simultaneously feed the kids and turn the heating on.
That's Gary Stevenson, and he's one of the most down-to-earth millionaires that you're likely ever going to see. And it's because he comes from the slums. He was expelled from school at 16, but leveraged his mathematical talent to earn a scholarship in the London School of Economics. Long story short, he became Citibank's top trader, amassing millions by betting on rising inequality.
Now listen, I don't get paid to have opinions, okay? I was one of the best paid and most successful traders in the world for one of the biggest banks in the world. I put bets. I place bets. And I've been betting for 14 years that the working class in my country and the working class in your country will collapse into desperate, worsening poverty year after year. I'm a multimillionaire from doing that, from betting on that.
Gary retired at the age of 27, and, disillusioned by the industry's moral bankruptcy, he's now a vocal inequality activist who campaigns for us to tax the super rich.
I shouldn't be here. Doesn't make no sense for me to have a YouTube channel. Doesn't make no sense for me to be here. I got paid millions of dollars a year to bet on the collapse of your working class, okay? I walked away to come here on this show for free because I want to tell the public, the American people, this gets worse.
That's his message. He made millions betting on the poor getting poorer, and he went on Pierce's show to warn people that if we don't start taxing the billionaires, we are heading towards utter catastrophe. One of the ways that he illustrated this is through the example of COVID. What happened to your money during that crisis? Huh?
What's the total US government deficit now since the beginning of COVID? Do you know? Do you know? It's $13 trillion, okay? That's $40,000 for every single man, woman, and child in the entire country of the United States of America. Every single man, even the babies, all right? So if you're out there watching and you're not $40,000 richer now, somebody's got your $40,000, okay? Who? Who's got that money now?
It's a great question. If you have a family of, say, 4, who's got your $1,600,000? Where did that go?
What you have is basically a massive cash injection from the government through the poor to the rich. Listen, we saw the biggest and fastest ever transfer of wealth and increase in inequality in the history of our nations, and it was immediately followed by an inflationary crisis and a collapsing cost of living. This is the clearest proof you'll ever need. You don't need me somebody who's made millions of pounds betting on this. The clearest proof you'll ever need of the absolutely bloody obvious fact that if you massively increase inequality, you will decrease living standards for working people.
And that's what now, personally, I struggle to see how anyone can argue against what he's saying here. It's really clear. This isn't correlation equals causation. We know the things that have happened as of late absolutely correlate to the poor getting poorer and the rich getting richer. And yet we have this extreme example with COVID.
The reason why American families, their kids can't afford homes is because they're now competing with the billionaire class that is $10 trillion richer. $10 trillion, that's $40,000 for every UK person, every American man, woman.
Once again, you have clear facts presented by Gary, right? $40,000 for every person is how much richer the absolutely insanely rich have got. The billionaire class now has an extra $40,000 for every American civilian. Think that through, right? Think about how much money that is and what they're going to do with that, what they are doing with that. They don't just sit on it, they spend it. They buy houses. They put it towards assets that you rent, that I rent. That's what happens. This isn't good for society. It's a terrible thing for society. This wealth inequality absolutely is what's responsible, primarily at least, for why so many normal people, their life is getting so much worse. And now the US has elected Trump to fix social issues, right? To remove the systemic problems. And yet the systemic problem is the billionaire class. This is the problem. Now, as we're all painfully aware, back in the day, go back to say the 1950s, the 1960s, what we have is people being able to buy homes on one salary. Normally just a man was working, and that was enough to be able to get on the property ladder, to actually be able to, sink your roots into your country, to become part of it. But now you have two people that are working full-time jobs and they still can't afford to even get on the ladder. They keep having to rent, which means more money going to these people that have an insane amount of money already. And as life is getting worse, rather than recognizing that the issue is the wealth inequality, what we're doing is focusing on other things. And consequently, the rich keep getting richer and richer because we keep putting into power people that don't care about you. They don't care about me. They don't care about the little guy. They're not like Gary. What they care about is making more money. What they care about is satisfying their donors, the billionaires that are giving them money, that are giving them what they need so that they can spread this message that your real enemy isn't the wealth inequality, when that is what's killing us from the inside out. Now, the other millionaires on the show, Piers Morgan and Dave Rubin, they push back against Gary. For instance, they say, look, tell us one time when taxing the rich actually worked. And he gives it straight to them.
I will point you to a country where taxing the rich at a fair rate led to good living standards for working people, United States, 1955.
The post-World War II era in America saw some of the highest marginal tax rates in US history, with top earners facing rates of, get this, over 90%. This period coincided with what many economists call the golden age of capitalism. Let that sink in. 90% tax rate. Golden age of capitalism. It turns out that when you make $1 trillion, you don't need 90% of it. You can make your society better. We could create a culture where we actually love and respect those that make billions of pounds. They just need to be able to give some of it back, to recognize that life is half chance, to recognize that their happiness, their wealth even, is predicated on others. That's all that's needed. No one needs $10 billion. They just don't. No one needs $1 billion. The golden age of capitalism is an unprecedented era of broadly shared prosperity. The high tax rates on the wealthy helped fund massive public investments in infrastructure, like the interstate highway system, education, including the GI Bill, which sent millions to college, making all of our populace smarter, and housing programs that created pathways to middle-class wealth through home ownership. What made the system work was that the revenue generated didn't just sit idle, it circulated throughout the economy. Workers earned living wages that kept pace with prosperity. Unions were strong enough to ensure fair labor practices, and the wealth gap remained relatively small compared to today. The result was a thriving middle class where a single income could often support an entire family, buy a home, afford healthcare, and send children to college. This wasn't socialism. This was capitalism with guardrails that prevented extreme concentration of wealth at the top while ensuring broad-based prosperity. The facts are there for anyone that actually wants to look this stuff up. It's right there. It's just the super, super rich don't want you to see it. They don't want to buy it. They want to be even more rich because somehow having an extra £10 billion makes their life better. It doesn't. It just doesn't. And it makes your life fundamentally worse.
Give me the blueprint for how we stop going down what you think is an apocalyptic path.
Tax work less, tax wealth more. Simple as that. You can't have ordinary working people paying 40-50% while billionaires pay 5%.
And it really is that simple. Look, it's often said that we have a problem with not being able to feed the poor, but we don't. Our problem is that we can't satisfy the super rich. When you present the facts, when you show them that all of the injection, all of the money that went in to be able to stimulate with COVID went straight to the super rich, and they still are not recognizing that that's a big problem, a problem that we need to fix. When the statistics clearly show that the average person, the middle class, is getting worse, the poorer class is getting worse, while the super rich keep getting richer and richer. If that doesn't motivate them, if that doesn't make most of them, or many of them, recognize that there's a serious issue here that needs to be attended to, this is going to end in disaster. It's going to end in disaster for everyone. Now, does Piers and Dave Rubin get it? Do they recognize what Gary is saying? Do they recognize the catastrophe that we're heading into and that we're largely already in? Do they fuck? Dave, running the classic conservative rage bait, made it about trans people.
Make sure that there's as little waste as possible, that we're not spending money on, trans comic books in Peru.
Meanwhile, Piers and Dave, to be fair, they pull the same utter bullshit of pretending that taxing...
Oh my god. Like, this guy is talking about the huge issue of wealth inequality and how everyone's going to end up becoming a peasant. We gotta stop funding trans comic books in Peru.
The super rich somehow is socialist.
Also, I would say whenever socialism has actually been tried,
it doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
Sadly, this rhetoric works on some people, and maybe it will keep on working. But I am seeing signs, at least, that people, including conservatives, are starting to recognize that we do need to do something about the wealth inequality. We have to do something about it, and it will involve the government. It will involve taxation. Look, I mentioned at the beginning about Elon. Elon's company Tesla made something like £2.3 billion in, I think it was income, last year. Do you know how much tax he paid? Have a guess. Zero. Nothing. None of that money came to you.
I pay 50-60% a year tax. At the same time, Duke of Westminster inherits £10 billion, more than 3,000 times what I made, pays nothing. Do you think that's fair?
So Trump and Elon talk about gutting out and getting rid of all of the corruption, and yet both of them are mega, mega rich at this point. And both of them pay pretty much no tax, particularly with the way that their companies work, such as Tesla. The last thing I want to say is that, Gary, I doubt you'll ever see this, but Gary, we appreciate you. Keep telling it as it is, brother. We need people like you doing what you're doing. I know it's a hard thing to do. I know it's against your interest, but please, keep it up.
All right. I think I'm going to end the stream now. I've had the sleep issues for the last 2 weeks, and it seems like I'm finally able to sleep normally. So, yeah, the reason why I started this stream later is because I just felt tired, and I just wanted to make sure that I caught up on sleep, so I ended up starting at 10, but, for tomorrow, I'm gonna really make sure that I start the stream at a normal time. At about 6. So I'll really try and make sure that I start the stream tomorrow at 6, normal time. And big thanks to everybody who donated on Streamlabs, really appreciate it. I will see you all tomorrow. And nighty-night, everybody.